You got a little bit of stuff jotted down. I figure we'd be mostly racing stuff.
Yeah, no, I got a bunch of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Crucial amount of stuff.
Good.
Hold on one second. You won't know yet, A-Rod. I'll get you to get back up there. It is. Well, you don't know that yet, but yeah, angle is a little bit more on the They won't be scared.
It's like popping up in and out. Like I see it on mine down here.
Put them on. Hopefully everybody can hear us. Everybody can hear us? Say what's up, Austin Dodge.
Hey, what's
sound
going on?
check. We got producer Alex in the back tonight. See if you can stay out there for one more second once we cut the music off there, A-Riz. Well, I guess he can't even hear me right now because he doesn't have headphones on. See if you can stay outside for one more second while we've got the sound off and see if it sounds like I'll try to move the mic away.
Yeah.
And
try to
forward.
Get that spacing right.
Well, the only problem is that when Chapman was here... Yeah? Okay, good. Oh, that was A-Rod's. My bad. When Chapman was here, when you don't plug it in after you go live, it messes everything up, and then you're literally just working off the microphone off the iPad. So it doesn't matter what you're doing with this.
Yeah,
it's all just fun and
all
games.
Null and void.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
Either way, thanks for joining us tonight.
Sure, man.
Austin
Thanks for having
Dodge, man. 3-4-time Grand Stock champion?
Depends on who you ask.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I say 4.
When I tell people who don't know any different, I say 4 too. Probably shouldn't, but I have 3 trophies at home. And I guess one, Donnie Newman has one of mine sitting
I
in
hear
his
you.
house.
Yeah, I hear you. I've got 25 over in the shed, but 27 in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. 27 pictures, only 25 trophies.
Yeah. No,
I'm not looking at you.
If you got a picture in victory lane, or if somebody's got a picture of it, then you won the race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for joining us. You also, I didn't mean to. We already got flies. This always happens as soon as we go live.
Just one. You're good.
Yeah, I'm like Mike Pence.
The chicken wings.
Yeah. It does smell like fried chicken in here, right?
Yeah.
I got the air fryer in the corner. It was
Good
going.
stuff.
Yeah. Lately you haven't been driving Grand Stocks. You've been driving road course racing. Tell me a little bit more about that. I didn't know how to introduce you about that because I don't know that much about it. I didn't want to disrespect the sport.
Sure. No, it's so the series that we've been racing in is called the Champ Car Endurance Series. And what that is I'd say it's probably a similar level of like Southside Speedway to NASCAR as this would be to higher up professional road racing. Yeah. I mean, well, there's definitely, just like in Southside or any type of local racing, there's definitely some people that know what the heck they're doing, that are really, really good. And there's a lot of actual pros that kind of step down and do this, whether they're a little bit older and kind of unwinding, or they just do it for fun, or almost like a driver development program some folks use this series for. But they're all really long endurance races. The shortest one we'll do is like 7 hours, up to the longest ones are like 12, 14, 24. So usually would have a team of 3 to 5, 6 drivers or so, run 2-hour stints. And kind of what they do to make it fun and level the playing field is you can really use whatever car you want.
But there's a weight to horsepower?
Right. Well, it's among other things, they call it like a VPI or something. It's like some value point added system. And they have a basic book. You look up every kind of stock car, has a certain point value, like a salary cap in sports.
Yeah.
And 500 is the cap. So if you have, say, and I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but like a 2012 5.0 Mustang, that may be a 500-point car bone stock. So take the glass out of it, put a cage in it, you can't do anything to it. If you have like a 92 Honda hatchback that may be like a 125-point car, you can throw everything you want to at it.
Kitchen sink and all.
Yeah, everything. So by doing that, and they adjust. If one car gets ahead, they'll make tweaks to the rule book, and as new cars get old enough to now become race cars, economically feasible, then yeah. So
they make adjustments kind of as they need to, as people do their own technology. So it's kind of a pre-calculated system for the types of cars that y'all are driving, depending on weight and everything else.
Sure, yeah, and even like something as you don't think about it in over racing, but just like the size of the fuel tank that comes on the car.
Oh, wow.
So you can put a fuel cell, but it has to be within 2 gallons of whatever the stock gas tank for that car was.
Yeah.
So be great. You could use for like some cars that are really fast, or like what would have been like old Mike Gano style street stocks, right? With 350.
We had fuel cells in those,
302.
What? The motor? 350.
Yeah, well, what came in those cars stock maybe back in the day, I can't remember, but
305 usually.
305. So
sometimes a 600, I think, too, right there, Abriz.
And they're really
the feed going well. Can everybody hear us?
Really fast cars, but the fuel mileage is horrendous on those things.
Oh my god!
So
I owned one.
So if you got to run a 12-hour race with one, you got to stop 10 extra times. Doesn't really matter how
fast
it is.
Yeah,
you know?
I never thought about that.
So at the end of the day, it all kind of like self-polices itself out. But the cars that seem to do really well are lately
the ones with you in them.
Well, lately, no. Lately, the ones with me in them keep getting pulled back in on the wrecker.
Did you wreck some recently?
I wrecked one pretty good back in
Yeah,
March.
but you're the one that you said you got a team of drivers. I mean, you're the you usually set the pace. You're
probably so, yeah. But
you're the BMF of the road course of your team, at least.
Maybe of our team, but I would say that if we have
not to hate on your teammates, much love and respect.
No, if we have 4 guys on the team, I mean, I would say I'm usually the fastest, but they're all 4 are really. I mean, if we're all within a second of each other, and when you're talking like a 2-minute lap time, that would be like 4 guys run Southside Speedway, and you all qualify within a 10th or 2.
Yeah, that's
you know,
like
good. I'm a little quicker than you.
That's
but
pretty good.
It's not like you suck and I'm awesome.
No, that's much respect.
But I'm also the guy who gets the worst fuel mileage. So if you're trying to go 2 hours on fuel,
how much worse? Is it worth it?
Probably not. Probably not.
The dog loves Austin.
On a 2-hour run, I probably get 8 or 10 minutes fewer amount of time before I run out of fuel.
That's a lot,
That's
dude.
significant.
Yeah. So is that like 10%, 5%?
It's like a bathroom break.
But
on a road trip.
it just depends on what part of the race it is. If it's in the beginning, it's not worth.
But you're going much faster too. Not much. You said, throughout. When you add up 2 hours, I mean, you're probably what?
Sure.
A minute or 2 faster. I mean, that's how much it takes to get fuel.
The problem is that you could burn that much fuel and get a big lead and think you're rocking and rolling, but you catch one full course caution, and that 3/4 of a mile lead you put on that guy and burn all that fuel. Well, now he's lined up right behind you again.
Oh wow!
So there's a little bit of a
fuel game there.
Sure, yeah, and there's certain cars that may be a little bit slower, but they know like they're getting 2 hours every time, no matter what. So there's something to be said for. It's all a cat and mouse game. It's like I'm faster than you, but I have to pedal it at the end of every stint to make it. Or some cars can just go all out.
Fuel more times.
So so it just depends on how the cautions fly and how how things work out.
Yeah, I'm learning all this right now.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy circle track racing, or do you enjoy this type of racing more? I mean, obviously there's even more variable. I mean, there's so many variables in circle track racing now. Yeah. You've added in drivers, fuel, different types of cars, different weights, different horsepowers. I mean, it's an endless.
There's cars that, there's cars from, say, like or I use the example of that Mustang. You figure like a 3 or 4 year old 5.0 GT Mustang that's racing with 1985 Honda CRX or a Miata or better. Yeah. I mean, one's 40 miles an hour faster down the straightaway, but it cannot stop. It can't turn. Whereas you got a little guy whipping a Miata with a good driver.
I do see a lot of those Miatas.
Yeah. So it can get a little sketchy because if you're that guy that's going 40 miles an hour faster than somebody and you're racing on the Roval at Charlotte, and you catch a pack of Miatas at 40 mile an hour closing rate, you got to figure something out quick.
Have you ever raced the Dominion road course yet?
I have not. No.
Ever even been around it or anything?
No.
You opened up for the U cars at Dominion, though, right?
Ooh, track test.
I did. Yeah.
You were the first one to take laps around Dominion in a U car, mini stock, whatever. I got some people that are California.
I think so. Which, looking back on it, I think we were terribly slow.
Well, everybody was back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got second. From where did you start that one time? You raced one race that year.
I did. I raced one Grand Stock race that year. I drove Bobby Curtis's car.
Oh yeah.
And
but
we
qualified
got
hit up out
second.
Of the way on that one,
we qualified second. I think Gary Burke actually had the pole that day.
Oh yeah.
I think
he's been doing that a lot.
He's the first guy in the 17s. I don't know what kind of lap times they've been running this past year, but I think he run like a 17:90 something.
Good question. I don't know either. Do you know?
I think I'd run like a
maybe Rizzle in the back doing the producing,
like an 18 flat maybe.
The high 16s. I think I could double. I think
like
Alex in the back doing all the joysticks, which
Reno
I have
and
right
Landon,
here. That
a couple of those guys were running too. It was a really tight field. Inverted started. I think I started on the second row and got to second. Got to the lead briefly for like half of a turn. And I think me and Landon Abbott got together a little bit. He rooted me up out the way. Fell back in line like fourth or fifth or something. Was running good, and then got on the outside of Gary, and I think pinched him down a little bit too much, and he got loose. I don't know if he clipped the apron or what, but he spun me around and backed it in the fence.
How did that feel in a Grand Stock? I mean, I've been around that track before, but never. Never in a Grand Stock, and I've seen videos of Reno Marchetti and Landon Abbott and all kinds of stuff, and I mean, it just looks so fast, and not even, you would think it'd be tight, but it's not tight. You know, it's a little bit loose at the same time.
Like
it's so banked, I think.
Yeah, like the weird.
Such a drop off.
Just going in the corner is weird. I mean, obviously, I would say the straightaway speed's probably, I don't know, 10 miles an hour faster or something like that, maybe than a U car. Like it's noticeably faster in the straightaway when you go in the corner. And what I like find even like Southside or really anywhere you race, that when there's a transition or going in the corner, even at Southside, the car feels really light, feels really weird, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you can drag the brake a little bit, and it kind of helps stable the car. I kind of use the brake pedal pressure to really get the car set down in the track and feel comfortable, and then you can go from there. But you're going like if you do that there with that kind of car, then you're slow, you know. Like especially
you really qualifying
it. I mean, I only drove it that one time, but I feel like we barely, if at all, touched the brakes at all. Maybe
even in a Grand Stock?
Like maybe you did drag them a little bit.
Really? I think even more now, since the tire compound has changed, they're not really using brakes at all.
I mean, you just let out for a second. So when you let out and the car kind of goes over that
thing in on you,
car goes over that hump and gets kind of light there in the transition. You don't have a brake pedal to go to stabilize. So it was really kind of uneasy getting in the corner. But once it's set, you know, it's so much banking. It's almost like not that side force that puts you in the side of the seat.
But you set it up so loose because it's such a tight track, essentially.
Yeah.
Because of the banking.
Yeah.
So you really just set it down in there and start sliding around.
Yeah, you just throw it in the corner, and as soon as it finally hits the bottom, once it falls down, you know, it feels pretty good. You just right back to the mat with it.
Yeah, and same with U cars or, like I said, mini stocks. I got some out of town fans because coming out is tight, no matter what, in those cars at any track almost, right? But going in, you really got to commit, and you really got to set it sail in there and not touch the brake at all. Not, you know, you really got to make it work on the entry and through the center, or else it's tight off. No matter what. But if you don't set up the middle and the beginning, it's going to be even tighter off, and you're going to really screw up the entire next lap.
Right, and that's how I'd say that is. You have to go in the corner hard enough and kind of loose enough to where it feels like it is going to spin out. But just know that if you can hang on to it just for that split second, once the thing loads up and the weight, you know, gets down in the banking and you're at the apex of the corner, it's going to catch you and it's going to get tight, and then you just go back to the mat, put some wheel into it. The thing's not loose coming up off the corner.
Yeah,
it's very
comfortable coming off the corner, even in Grand Stock. Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty cool, at least, because at Southside it can get a little dicey sometimes.
Sure,
especially with a little corner pressure.
Yeah,
it can really start to throw it around.
Oh yeah. No, that thing never even attempted to spin tires whatsoever.
Oh damn, that's bad. So back to the road coursing a little bit. You don't think this fine piece of machinery would do too well at the road course?
No, I don't.
There's been a couple fuel mileage.
There's been a couple guys like when we go up north, we run at this track near Pittsburgh.
Damn.
And there's a lot of dirt racing up that way. It's much more bigger than asphalt, it seems like.
Oh, really?
And there's a lot of guys that will bring like these no offense to the street stock guys here, but like
The
what
street
looks
stock
to be like
cars,
an
yeah.
old raggedy dirt street stock.
Yeah.
It
Love
is like
street
a
stock.
old take the glass out thing,
Piece of shit.
barely
Yeah,
runs.
yeah.
Yeah, bumper falling off the thing, and they're
You're
like,
not
That was
going to send any
Enduros,
street
but-
stockers. Yeah. No, it was both.
well, the car would look more like an enduro car
Right.
than what street
Yeah,
stocks
yeah.
became.
Yeah.
And they come
cool.
out there and they think, oh yeah, this is just a bunch of
It's got a big motor and
it got a big old motor, and we're just it works good there, it'll work good here.
no brakes, no
Yeah,
tires,
Evolution
no
of
brakes.
street stock, yeah.
Things overheating like crazy,
10-gallon fuel cell. It's a drag car. It's like, what are you guys doing out here?
Yeah, I mean, the aerodynamic aspect of that thing at about $120 has got to be just probably try to just
Horrendous.
drive it
Yeah.
off into the grass
Yeah,
by
yeah,
itself,
it's
just
just
the wind
swaying.
blowing. Yeah, it's like it's got 18 wheelers on both sides of it, just pulling around. But no.
So which racing do you prefer? Let's finalize that out. What do you prefer, the circle track racing or the, you've been doing the...
I would say like the on-track experience is probably more fun in oval racing.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with road racing just because it opens up the window to race at a lot of these facilities that otherwise none of us would have any business being at. You know?
Yeah.
There's no like oval track way of like it doesn't matter who it is. There's never going to be a scenario in which this U car right here is going to be racing at like Watkins Glen or something, or even if you kept it on
Never say never,
ovals.
Austin Dodge.
There's not going to be like there was one at Bristol, I guess, the short track nationals, but like
Every year.
they're not going to run like a U-car race like on like the big
At
oval
Dominion
Charlotte
Road Course,
or-
they should. I've been saying that
yeah,
for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting to do that
By
kind of
the way.
stuff, earlier this February, we raced at Sonoma, Finian
You raced at
Raceway.
Sonoma?
Yeah.
How was that, by the way?
we
Was it
won.
just like you? Was it
I
like just
didn't
like
even
you
know
saw
that.
it in the
That's-
video games? Yes, I remember
And just
that.
like it.
Well, y'all were
Yeah.
national champions last year, right?
We were national champions.
That's
in
what I
20
wanted to introduce you with, but I didn't know the
Gosh.
terms.
That was a
that's
big
right.
deal.
So we won it in 2018.
National championship.
National champion 2018.
Don't
And
skip
then-
over that. That's a big
That's a
deal.
big
And then
deal.
2019, we finished fourth. So their format. Let's explain that first, I guess. It's not like it's more like stick and ball sports where you accumulate points throughout the season,
Of course.
and then the top so many make the cut for the championship, and then they do one race where those guys are the only cars there.
Yeah,
and they
eliminate all the non-making.
There's
Or
some other cars
non-qualifying.
there, but it's kind of like, I guess, how like in NASCAR as they do the Cup or the Chase or whatever. The other guys are still there, but like they're not eligible, and all the ones
They're not
that still
point
are
time,
run
yeah,
like a
yeah.
windshield banner, and they can tell who they are. So you're really only racing those guys.
Yeah.
They do that because they're not going to deny money from people who want to enter
Yeah,
into
right.
races and
That
stuff.
makes sense.
So there may be like 85 cars there, but like 20 of them are championship eligible that you're really racing against. And it's kind of like a winner take all setup. It's just those 20 cars are the ones that are eligible, and whoever does the best out of those 20 cars.
Kind of like the final race of the Chase in NASCAR. I mean,
Kind of,
that's-
yeah.
But more cars.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is more impressive.
Y'all came in
right?
fourth.
So yeah, in
And
2019 we
What
came.
kind of car do you drive, by the way?
It's a 1989 3 Series BMW. It's 325i. So,
Doesn't run like your average one though.
No, no, not at all. Y'all just built a new one, didn't you? Another one?
Yeah, we did, and the new car is the exact same thing as the old car. It's just
Oh, wow.
it's
What's
just
the
not bent all.
Race team name.
So you
I-
wrecked the shark a
RV,
little bit.
well, it's RVA Graphics and Wraps is the team name, and Mr. Woodfin, who the whole thing is a bunch of guys who work together that race with work on these cars. So Mr. Woodfin owns a wrap shop that I guess primarily wraps our own fleet of Woodfin
You did
vehicles.
a bunch of things, huh?
Yeah, he does, and so that RVA Graphics and Wraps they wrap the race cars and stuff. So that's our team name.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so
It's a badass looking ride.
the
Green
new
and
car-
orange, mostly, right?
Right. Yep. The old car is like green with a little bit of orange, and then the new car is kind of inverse. It's mostly green mostly orange with some.
Apparently,
green
orange is
back-
worth 2/10.
Mm.
That's what we've heard.
Hey, for the record, I do have my Austin Dodge shirt on. It's just
Oh, man.
it's too cold in here for me.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Well,
I'm
He
too
doesn't
scrawny,
have-
dude.
Ethan needs another cheeseburger.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm too skinny for this cold shit, and it's like 65 out here.
Yeah.
Michael Chapman was like, "I'm cold." It was like 45 out here that night.
Doesn't he
It
go
was
hunting at like
Yeah,
2
yeah.
in the morning and stuff?
Sorry for the distraction. Tina is in the house tonight. She's
The
back.
producer.
Hellion.
She's coming back. She made it. She's late,
Yeah.
but she made it. Better late than never for sure.
It's like Elliot in the morning when we need like somebody to take a caller.
Yeah, no, I've got it on here right now. If anybody wants to call in like later, not yet.
Yeah.
So I won't answer yet. If I can figure out how to even get out of this, it's about to start playing the song again. All right, let's get into your favorite category or your favorite driver in each category locally.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Hey, I'm in the garage.
We'll start from the top. Yeah, and anybody in the garage is excluded.
If we're going...
We'll go from the bottom to the top. I think that's better. U-Car. Or Bandolero.
I don't even know any of their names. I know there was this one little kid, little blonde-haired kid, Logan something maybe, or something Logan. He's a little blonde-haired kid who won a whole bunch, and he's probably in legend cars or late models by now.
Logan Clark?
Yeah.
He won...
they moved to late models when they're like 9, so...
He won the... he didn't win the championship, but he was up front and running this year in the Dominion...
Racers. Okay, so yeah.
Limited late models, basically Southside late models. Yeah,
yeah, so he was like 8... killing him out there at Southside.
Doing well.
Probably ran a legend car for a year or two, so now he's like 12.
He went from Bandos
he's like
2 years ago to this, like straight up to the late model thing.
Yeah, he skipped it all.
Yeah.
Or
and then
Dominion Racers, maybe? Dominion Racers.
So he was cool, and then the boy, I think his name was Eddie Slagle, he bought the Grand Stock car that I drove on a couple different occasions.
Yep.
I think he's now since sold it, and he's running limited late models or late models at South Boston or somewhere else.
I haven't gotten an update on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think right when they were going to start their big debut, COVID kind of shut everything down, so they've just been kind of racing here or there. But
damn it,
I think he's
the Slagles ran the Dominion Racers this year. Yeah, they set a couple poles this year.
Yeah,
really?
But I think you can take that car. I don't know specifically, but I think you can run what most tracks would call limited late model.
Yeah.
So he can go run like South Boston and Kinley and some other places like that too.
Badass.
Yeah.
I think it's an 8-inch rim or something, or
something.
The
you
width
got
is different.
like a crate motor or something versus a build. Maybe you got to run maybe a different carburetor or something like that. But it's the exact same car, just like 30 or 40 horsepower less or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of silly to me. They even break it up like that.
Yeah.
It just makes it like less car count.
Yeah, why have 2 races of 12 and just put them all together?
Yeah. All right. Well, Bandoleros, that was a hard one or whatever. Let's move up U-Car.
Well, I'm not going to count like myself. I don't race in current.
Nobody in this garage.
I would say I'm going to go with Mike Chapman.
That's
my guy.
He's in the garage, though.
No, he's not. He gets every vote every time I bring this up. Michael Chapman gets the answer.
He's the GOAT, man.
He's easy to like once you know him.
Yeah.
You know how many wins are at that table right there, though?
Well, before you know him. I've
never raced against him as
like
an enemy. I've never really been on.
A lot of people wanted to punch him in the throat back in the day. Yeah.
What? That's because they don't.
Well, yeah, because he was Rowdy. That was his name, Well, Kenny Allen shared a thing today about you driving your 31 U-Car, and you gave him a little bump for that win against Trevor Stinson. That was cool.
Yeah.
I watched that thing twice today.
Yeah, well,
it was tight.
Chapman got the win still.
Chapman did, yeah. Austin gave him a little nudge.
Yeah. Shout out to this. I still got this right here.
There you go, yeah.
It's the one right here.
Well, that particular car's got about like 35 wins on it now or something, man. That was
it's like 25, I think.
No, you added a couple this year.
I won 4, so that probably won the least.
Ethan's won about 22 in that thing. I think Chapman's won like...
But I
won 1.
I think I only raced it 8 times, though.
That's pretty good.
It wasn't ready when the season started, so I think I missed.
You were leading when the power steering went out.
Well, you did win.
The very first race of the year, I drove the silver car.
You won.
And while this car was still being built, I missed the next couple races. Just we were working on that, and it's whatever didn't work out.
But you weren't running for points anyway.
No, and then I came back to that car's debut race was probably the 4th or 5th race that season. I led the first 8 or 10
power steering line,
something like that.
You pulled off.
One of the time.
I pulled in from the lead when the power steering line started throwing smoke.
Yeah, he's about half a track ahead of everybody too.
And then so maybe I hope would have won that.
And then
one.
you let Chapman
and then Chapman wrecked.
No, Cameron wrecked Chapman. That's what happened.
Right, so he drove. Yeah,
so Cameron Ruggles.
Sorry,
so if there was 12 races, I only drove at 7 or 8 of them probably, and I think I won for
something like that.
Couple
3
seconds.
or 4 of them out of 7 or 6.
Yeah, the only one that didn't go well was when they threw all that money out there for everybody, and after about the 4th Talladega-esque big one, I just quit. It's like
you came back to the field twice though, or something.
I did, and I probably could have again because there was about 11 green, white checkered attempts.
Yeah, like your grand stop.
There was like enough lucky dogs where I probably could have got it back. But
who won that race? Chapman?
No, Chip Husband.
Yes. Husband won it. Chapman had the
in Ronnie's car or what?
Hard Charger. That was the Lorax car.
Yeah.
The 82.
I think it was Chip and Ronnie's car.
Chip and Ronnie.
Chip and the car that he got from Ronnie, one of the two.
Yeah, but I don't think he was eligible for the money, or there was 4 of us.
The Buds or whatever. That was a weird scenario.
It was like the old Winston Million or something like that, where there was, I think, only the people who were eligible, folks who'd want to race that year up to that point, maybe
something like that. Yeah.
And
like a
Trevor wrecked, and then I quit after wrecked. I think
Chapman had to go to the back.
I think
all y'all had to go to the back at one point.
Yeah, Chapman finished second or third when it was all said and done. But yeah, I got probably about halfway through. Well, in the beginning, I started. The 4 of us had to start in the back. That was the stipulation. So I got to maybe fifth-ish or something like that by lap 10 or 12, whatever it was. And then
on the outside.
And I went into turn. And I think what happened was somebody up front really checked up really hard on a restart. And I think I locked the brakes up a little bit, and it stalled the car.
There's a video of that.
And I didn't really know. It seemed like I was just driving, and the car died. So I pulled down, thinking it was broke, like it was locked up or something. But then finally, I ended up just letting my foot off the clutch, and it, fired up. So I took back off again. Well, I went a lap down because of that. So I was riding around just waiting for an opportunity, and then I got piled up in it was literally a 17 or 18 car pileup, I think. So I was all right.
Michelle Willingham has an in-car video of that, I think.
It's 8 laps to go.
I think it's on her Facebook page on Michelle.
The toe's knocked out. The fender's ripped off of it. Why am I going to go out here and wad it up so I can finish 17th instead of 20th? So I quit, and then there proceeded to be 11 do-overs, and I probably would have. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not down for that either. All right, well, that was U-Car. Next level up, that would be Grand Stock. None of us in the room.
Well, street stock, you can just say it.
Well, if we have to say current people,
street stock, sure. Just go Mike Gano.
Yes, he's the greatest. He was nasty.
Street stock, Mike Gano is always gonna be everybody's favorite.
Well, now you guys are making me pick between you two because
no. I said nobody in the garage.
Okay.
Ethan has more wins. Just pick him. It's cool.
I don't think.
Well, if nobody in the garage counts, the only other street stock person that I ever really cared about would have been my Uncle Henry's cars.
Oh
back in
man,
the day.
Yeah. Henry Hout.
Yeah, Henry. So I'll go with him, even though
somebody tag Henry Hout.
But
shout out Henry.
The last time he probably ran was 2008 or 9 or 7.
That was the last time he won.
Something like that. So
he had a lot of pictures. He had a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures.
The last race I remember him ever even racing in that I can remember, the last race that he raced in, I think, was the first U-Car race that I ever did when I was 15 or something.
He was in it?
No, we were just
same night.
Same night.
Yeah, me and my dad and Bud towed our car out, and then Henry and Little Henry, I call him Little Henry.
Little Henry, then.
Little Henry's the one that y'all race with. His dad, Henry, still comes to the racetrack with me all the time. Yeah, so, and I just remember
that might have been the night he got busted for running a Nokia walkie-talkie in his car with an open base helmet. And you couldn't do that.
When I was in the stands. I raced with him. That was before I even started racing.
So,
he had a Bluetooth,
You couldn't run radios and street stocks.
All the things you can get thrown out for, and they got him for a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, Nokia phone. Yeah.
Yeah, they had him. He had a blue.
That's funny.
What was it called?
Well, I guess back then was
it
still enduro style with the random red flags?
It was it was street stock, but yeah, I actually won the last enduro race at Southside Speedway.
So if there's no red flag aspect to it anymore,
no,
then
there
why?
was at the time. They went up to him on a red flag and pulled him out of the car and got him his shit
out
of his fire suit.
We need your Nokia.
Which nowadays would be easy. At the time, he had wires running all through his fire suit and shit. He had a spotter, and you weren't allowed to in the class.
Yeah.
That's why I ran. I mean, when I ran Grand Stock, I ran the whole season without a spotter because I'd never had the technology for it.
Yeah, no.
I would have done it. It's just then you have to have it all wired in. You have to have all the radios. It's like $300 more than.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even going to
So I guess the whole purpose of the no radio thing was just that you couldn't cheat the red flags.
All of it, yeah.
You had to
see it. It's kind of like dirt racing. A lot of dirt racing has no radios. It's just part of the sport.
Or mirrors too.
Yeah, it's just part of the sport. It's just a weird thing. But street stocks, they eventually
they evolved.
Yeah, they allowed them. It's just we still never used them.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. The
Wayne Bordoni and all them had spotters.
Man, you won the last street stock races outside.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You did.
Probably sure. When was
either way?
2016?
15?
I'm sorry, 2015 was the last street stock race, and you won that one, Ethan.
The last one, yeah.
Yep.
I just realized that too.
Yeah. It's funny you say the no radio, no mirror thing. I told you I'd wrecked one earlier this year in Champ.
You said they got a new car because it was totaled the frame.
Yeah, they built that new one that's got
the
more
old
orange
the old
on it.
one's actually going to go to the racetrack, I think, next weekend or the weekend after next.
They're still fixing it, but
yeah. Well, I got hit in the right rear wheel, and it bent it's got independent rear suspension, so it bent some control arms and
big
stuff like that. I mean, nothing like terminal, but too broke to keep going at the racetrack.
Okay.
But how that accident happened is I run up on a guy who was really, really, really slow and could not pick a lane, and I thought he was going right. I went left, and we kind of crested over this hill, and he came back across the track and it hit me. And his excuse was they normally were used to dirt racing and go-kart racing, so they never used mirrors, never used spotters, so he wasn't used to never even thought that he needed to look in his mirror to see what was coming.
On a track when you're in different classes and you're the slow guy?
Yeah, and you're at a point where like you're doing 90 and we're doing like 130.
Let's put it this way. I'm usually on the pace pretty well.
Yeah.
I've got a spotter now, and I still look in my mirrors. Because back when I was in the setting of not looking in or not having a spotter, I used to look in my mirrors so much, every lap.
Yeah.
And I used to have a side mirror. It's just you look at them so much that once you finally get a spotter, you can't get out of the habit. Alex is probably a victim of this too.
I'm almost self-conscious of like sharing some
you still watch your mirrors really big, even though you've got a spotter because you grew used to just having no spotter at all.
Man, I raced for
so that's not even an excuse in my opinion.
No,
if you don't have a spotter, you're watching your mirrors more. Not less.
Yeah, he's like, we race go-karts and dirt racing stuff in North Carolina. We don't.
I don't know if you have grandma watching.
That was the first one.
I hate that. I hate that shit. When people say, like...
I couldn't see you. You could have seen me. You just twist your owl neck and see me.
Or when some guys, just in general, the go-karters.
Have a little bit of situational
The go-kart
awareness,
guys sometimes
especially
piss me off.
I feel like you would need it, like, you would know, like, man, I've got passed by, like, 80 cars in the last 10 minutes.
Like, or 90, whatever,
It's probably like the 81st one's getting ready to come up here. I make sure I don't...
You might want to start looking around. There's 80 of them that came by in the past hour,
Yeah.
Don't let the 81 strike you and be like, oh, what happened?
So but
then again, you got to keep in perspective, like, just like U-car racing is like entry-level racing in a way.
Be wild.
So, like, you also got to realize that despite however serious we're all taking it, that you got to get into racing somewhere.
Right.
And we just happen to be unfortunate to be in a financial situation where the entry-level division is where we're all. That's our Daytona 500. So we're going to have some of those guys in there that kind of ruin it.
In our defense, with some of these kids, late model racing is the opening division. So
right.
Well, right. You know I mean? That's why I said we're on the unfortunate.
The ones in this garage are different,
I'm just saying, I'd be much more mad,
Jesse
I guess,
races
if I
strollers.
If I had a late model and I got took up by some kid that's only raced 3 times, I'd be way more pissed.
Yeah. But I guess Grand Stock, I mean, I would like to pick myself, but if I can't,
totally can.
I picked you every time. You don't listen much to this podcast.
Caleb would pick Austin.
I turn every guest into a listener. I picked you like every single time. She's never been in the garage yet.
Okay.
So every single time we go through this, I pick you. Yeah. Or most people have actually. Chapman.
I'll go Lane Janosic then.
Fair enough.
He hasn't raced in a couple years, but I'm wearing his T-shirt and home team, same race car,
shirt.
Absolutely,
basically the same crew. I just instead of him spotting her on my radio, I want his
Janosic. How do you say it?
It's Janosic, but
I say it how I want.
Janosic is how the announcers say it.
Somebody tag him.
Janowski or they
say Janowski. That's a way different spelling too.
They say a lot of different stuff.
Man, you know, I'll go way back, and y'all may or may not remember Douglas Krieger. Remember
I have no idea who that man is.
He used to run for Reno, run the number 2
I
car.
love him, but I don't know who he is.
Oh,
he was a young cat, like 16, and he was out there getting down. Douglas Krieger. I don't know where he is now.
I did race
number
against
2
one
for
of their cars.
the number 2 and 01 team.
Oh, the brown car.
No, it was like Rusty Wallace.
It was like blue and white.
Yeah,
it was like
it was a Buick Regal. Chrome wheels and everything. Yeah, it was the bad. Yeah, Douglas Krieger. He used to win races like 15, 16 years old.
Didn't Chris Hopkins drive a car that looked like that too?
He drove. Yeah.
I mean, I was little.
Yes. He drove either the same car or.
I was almost as little.
He drove for Reno, I think. Chris Hopkins.
How old
did.
are you?
27.
I used to work there, and it was like Douglas Krieger was 16. I was 14, and he was like, "Dude, that guy is bad to the bone." Yeah. People that are a little bit older, they probably remember him.
Yeah.
You remember that guy, Tina?
Yeah.
She probably doesn't, but like the older cats that are watching this, they probably know.
Yeah. Because I put it on and it was all lit up.
Oh, really?
Douglas Krieger, he was
just don't.
He was good. He was aggressive and smooth and everything else. Yeah, it's one of my favorite guys to watch.
So,
and of course, Austin came along, so killing people.
Lane Janosic.
Well, now it's Dan Rogers. This guy who's killing everything.
Dan Rogers, your favorite now?
It's Southside. I like Dan just fine. I mean, I don't like him over Lane per se, but I like Dan just fine.
Yeah. Y'all are good huggers.
Yeah.
Is that Dan the Cowboy Man?
The Cowboy Man.
Cowboy Man.
Yeah.
I wasn't even saying that. I mean, I like Dan.
I do
reason
too.
not to
No,
like
I
Dan,
think I think anybody who really gets too mad with him winning, a whole
Hollywood
bunch is
remembers
just
Krieger. Yeah.
Who
kind
gets
of
mad
just
about
kind of
that?
hating.
Losers.
I mean,
That's
it
who gets mad
ain't like
about
they
that.
showed up. It ain't like they showed up out of nowhere and just started killing everybody off the bat. I mean, they did some
I
street
raced
stock
street
racing.
stocks against them.
They rode around
I
as
used to smoke Dan
as
Ryder
a
in
12th place
street
car,
stock.
then as an 8th place
Damn it.
car.
You know what's up, Dan Ryder?
Yeah, I mean,
killed
they
me in
rode
Grand
around as
Stocks.
they rode around as a 12th place car, then as an 8th place, and then
and
flirt
he was
for a
on the way
win,
to the front,
getting a
he
win here and there to
moved
just
me out of the way at
to
Southside
just
Grand Stocks.
pretty much dominating. So they paid their dues and worked their way right on up the hard way. So
What's up?
Pat Murphy said that Hopkins drove the 01 car for Reno, and then I can't read that, but somebody said Douglas Krieger was Reno's nephew and used to run back in the day. Hollywood said that he remembers him too. He doesn't remember, or he doesn't run Southside anymore, obviously. But
What's up,
nobody
Hollywood?
runs
What's up,
Southside
Patrick
right
Murphy?
now.
well, nobody runs
Hollywood.
Southside because that was
Hey, let's not be negative.
we're
all living in our dreams here.
COVID-19/20.
COVID, yeah.
Did we have a read off of comments and stuff?
That's not much.
That's
It was
where
just
we're
that,
at.
but so y'all
We
just finish
pay
up with
you
Grand
producers so much money, and y'all don't fucking read all the comments. That's all I ask y'all to do.
Don't talk to your beer
Well, I just
assistant
got
like
here.
that.
Huh?
I just got here.
She was putting
I'm
down
not
your
blaming you,
offspring,
Tina.
bro.
I'm not blaming you.
That's actually really important.
I pay Tina less.
The offspring, yeah, the offspring's important.
I pay Tina less than I paid
Still
the
alive.
top producer
It's all
spot
good.
of Alex.
There's a roof over her head.
Yeah.
All right, so either way, that was Grand Stock. What about, let's, I guess, go Modified first. Modified.
Ooh,
I always like Thomas Stinson.
Everybody does. He's always
Yeah.
got the fan vote here,
And
too,
again,
other than
people,
Kyle Wood.
Kyle Wood and Thomas, those are the guys.
yeah. I like Kyle as a person just fine. Racing against him is a little bit more aggravating. Just
I've never raced against him. I'm going Kyle
nothing that
Wood.
he does dirty, but he's kind of like.
It's like Ryan Newman. He's hard to
There
pass.
you go. Exactly. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
if it doesn't
He's the
matter if
blocker.
it's for the win or if it's for ninth place.
Well, his
You
car's
are
from
gonna
1912.
use every.
That's Kyle Wood, dude. That's
You
awesome.
are
Yeah.
like you are gonna have to pass him. He's not gonna give you anything. And
We're
there's
driving
a
and-
Model
and-
T,
and he's
Austin.
and you're
I mean,
not
he's gonna-
entitled to get anything. So it's nothing that he's doing wrong. But it's like sometimes when it's like lap 6, like why are you running the lane off the wall? Why are you jacking the brake and him and hauling the car around and stuff?
Hey,
but
dude, you got to practice for the end of the race.
Right.
yeah.
I'm Kyle Wood all the way, baby.
But he's
Yeah.
but he's
So you tag him.
but he's never done anything like that I've seen dirty. He's never run in the back of me wrong. He's
Never.
never
That's what I'm saying. So
chopped you off. He's never
blocking's always a clean sport, as weird as it is.
No. Yeah, sure.
It can be frustrating, but
Whereas Thomas is just I've always
he's the wheel man.
Yeah, he wins all the time when you're a kid, so you're kind of gnaw him a little
Yeah,
bit too. But then when you get there in the track,
147 wins.
when you
at
get on the
South.
track,
yeah, he's-
when you get on the track with him, and I didn't know this, but at least the year that I drove modifieds, he was a one hand guy.
Yeah.
damn.
And that's some I mean, there's a difference
That's
between
impressive.
Jim
one
Loving did
hand
that
in a
in
Monte
Street Stock.
Carlo with like 280 horsepower or whatever versus one hand in that thing with like 500 or whatever
Yeah,
it
that's
makes.
what I'm saying. I knew street stock guys that did it, but that's a whole different ballgame when you get
Yeah,
modified.
yeah. I needed like third hand to hang on
Yeah.
mine, much less. And
Um,
he's just like I'd say he's probably the best racer I've
Yeah.
raced against.
I sat across from him at Mulligan's about 20 years ago when I was a young child, and ate a burger, and he had his hat with the flames, and like
Oh, yeah,
I was just
yeah.
sitting there like, damn, that's Thomas
Yeah.
Stinson right there. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
man.
Like
Yeah.
that's the man. You know?
Yeah.
See him every Friday in Victory Lane. He's like right
Yeah, and he's
there. I
super
could
cool,
almost
too.
touch him. I could smell
Yeah.
his food. You know?
And if you walked up to him before or after the race or whatever and asked he'd help you.
I'd never do
He wouldn't tell you like set up or nothing, but I mean he's
Well, my dad was a street stock guy.
Yeah.
He probably would have just spit on me.
There was one race I
Not
ran
really,
with
but-
him. I think we were running like
Get out of here, kid! You damn enduro guy.
it was one of the longer races before they did like the every division every night, the same format when they used to run like triple 30s or twin this and that. We had one race that was like 75 laps, and I think me and him started like 6th and 7th after the redraw maybe. And we were racing for second towards the end. I was second, he was third. I think Mike Rudy was fixing to win this race maybe at this point. And he rode on my bumper for probably 40 laps under green. I mean, a foot off my bumper, never touched me, never did nothing
right there though.
the whole time. And I felt like I was holding my own. I didn't feel like I was holding him up because I felt like he'd already gave me
He'd
three
touched
or four
you.
warning shots, And he waited until we took like 2 to go. And we come off turn 2, and he gave me a little nudge, turn underneath me, and go right on by right at the end. And it was so disheartening to think. I was like, damn, I was going to beat this guy.
Yeah,
and after the race, he pretty much told me, he's like, I just want to see if you're going to make a mistake or not. Just, see what you're
wait
made
till
of.
the end because I know I can control it. Anyway
I was like,
if I'm behind
okay,
you.
like this is really,
Well,
really
that's a
disheartening.
control spot.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you're in second, that's where you control it. I've had that happen to me once too. So
it felt kind of cool to feel like
I
this
felt
guy
really
actually really cared enough to
just wait and not
see what I was going to do, and then kind of tell me, hey, you should have done this or should have done that.
Well, here's where I'm at.
A little bit of a word of advice.
If he goes ahead and passes you, at least it gives you the opportunity to be the control car and see how this sets up and go back and forth. But that's not a smart way of racing. It's just a what I would consider not an entertaining way of racing. It's just what would be, I think, a little bit better is if he passed you and then gives you the opportunity to pass him back, and if that doesn't happen, he can sail away with the lead.
Yeah,
that's not as entertaining. So maybe I'm kind of doing an oxymoron here, but I just think that hiding behind somebody just because it happened to me and I'm defensive and selfish.
Yeah.
Because it happened to me, the way that I felt was somebody hid behind me up until the last lap and then hunted.
Yeah. No, I think it was one of those deals where he was clearly faster than I was and probably could have passed me whenever he wanted to.
This is the same thing,
I think. I mean, but it was like the leader's gone. I'm just going to ride here and save some tires.
Yeah.
And
in my defense, this guy was booting me out of the way the whole time and trying to pass me, and I was blocking him the whole time. Yeah,
is this in a U car?
I'm still just salty.
It was street stock.
No,
that was street stock. Yeah.
Oh.
Brian Smith.
I remember Brian. Oh, yeah.
I took a restart.
Orange Firebird or orange.
Yeah. I took a restart with Mike Gano on the outside and Brian Smith right behind me at 17 years old.
You were screwed.
No, I led like 18 laps, and then Brian Smith got me on the last lap.
Oh, man.
I burned both of them, kind of.
Yeah.
Mike Gano finished third.
Dang.
He had like that
was a weird night.
He did have a right front issue or something.
It don't matter.
Give him credit,
He finished third.
He did.
He didn't win.
Brian Smith booted him out of the way, caught all the way up to me because I was leading the race. I started on the pole.
Right.
Or not started on the pole, but on this restart I was on the pole. He booted Mike Gano out of the way. Mike Gano couldn't catch him back. He caught all the way up to me, and then what I feel like is, tried to pass me but kind of hid behind me for 5 laps, and then on the last and final lap, last turn of last lap, booted me up out of the way pretty big. But we were rivals long before that. It wasn't like y'all were friends.
I never had any run with him.
See, this was like
I just thought it was cool that he didn't pass me 30 laps ago. Yeah,
this was like a premeditated. Like we already hated each other.
Yeah.
So it was like I wanted to fucking kill that guy.
Yeah.
That was Alex's classiest nights in the stands
Honey Boo
that
Boo
I've
Child?
ever seen.
Fuck that guy. Sorry.
Screaming obscenities.
His whole family.
Call you out on that.
Something, he pissed me. I think Ethan destroyed the front end of his race car that night, actually.
I did come back around. No.
No, that was a different night.
I just touched him while he was in victory lane.
Man, that was some rowdy stuff.
That was,
wow.
I
don't remember that specific night, but I just...
That was back when there was like 30 cars and
shit.
Dude.
Dude, every week
good
it was
stuff.
Ethan had no more than $1,350 in any race car he owned.
Yeah, we were the only ones that had the actual G-body cars that were running with Camaros.
Well, it got to where it was like one of those like competitive like roller derby things after a while. It was like 2 teams of 5, It was like the Goochland Louisa crowd.
Always looked like a wrinkled bag of
potatoes. It was always the Louisa guys had 9 Camaros.
It was like 5 Camaros versus like 5 G-body cars, and like each of y'all, I guess each week they had one person who they were like, we're going to try to get you to win, and the other 4 are just going to be rolling goons for you,
that's
vice
exactly
versa.
Right, yeah.
And all that shit, I think, ended when one of Mike and those kids ended up flipping down the back straightaway.
Oh my god, I remember that.
He got
and then
he also
whatever happened that caused that. I don't know if there was some intentional shit going back and forth, but I think a bunch of people got like suspended briefly, and then the whole thing. Shortly after that, everybody like
they
took
never
the
came
ball
back
after
hole. That because
there was a lot of drama.
He suspended
about
his son because his son
was flicking people off on front stretch or something weird. I don't know.
No, went into the back pits and like try to talk shit to somebody. Nothing that he should have gotten suspended for. So
especially if he just flipped me over. I went barrel rolling down the back straightaway. I feel like I
it was gnarly too. Like he really that was.
It's not like
I was on the inside wall again. Just
freaking. It's not like he went up and like punched somebody in the face and like you know what I mean. Like that's totally different. All he did was go up and like start talking smack to somebody that wrecked him or whatever, and it ended up being that.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe like ran into somebody's car and it was down in the pits in the gravel pits. He drove his car down there and I think ran into somebody else's car a little bit.
Silly stuff.
But it wasn't. It didn't like knock it into another car, another trailer. It was just like running to their car. No punches were swung, and then he was suspended. And then Mike Gano Sr. said, "F all this." And then when he goes, he takes his crew of 8 Camaros with him.
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
It ruined the class.
No, a couple of them came back the next
Not
year.
really,
the next year or two it went on good. That was probably like 2013 or it was the year I was running modified.
2014 is when I came back, and
at the beginning we had like
some Camaros came back, and
15
they weren't ready.
No,
right?
We were
Ryan
outrunning
Smith
him.
kept running.
Yeah, we outran him.
Because he ended up trashing, what's his name's car?
Ryan Paul, yeah.
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 But we were outrunning the
that was
Camaros.
violent.
They were
He
at,
wasn't
like,
even in it for points though. He was already falling back. So
Yeah,
why
he
he
didn't make a race, but he got booted after that for the whole Ryan Paul incident. But
Nick Smith won a race that year
Nick
in a
Smith
Camaro.
did. The fucking 01. God, Todd's gonna
Chris
be so
Kanzler.
mad. Fuck that guy.
He won a race.
Yeah.
Somebody
He's a
tag
loser.
him.
Fuck Chris Kanzler.
Or don't, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I probably don't want to tag him now.
I don't
Well,
care.
he can't go back. Well, he can
I'll
go back
just
later,
let
but he could do that anyway.
I hate that guy.
All right, so that
Thing
was
on a tape
that was
delay.
modified.
Austin
What is-
Davis is mad that you didn't pick him as your favorite U-Car driver.
Me? I didn't
Yeah.
pick one.
You talking?
Just in general.
Is it
Oh,
because
he's
you
mad
don't
at
share
you.
the name?
No,
He's
he's
mad
mad
at
at
you.
you specifically.
Austin
Ethan. Yeah. He said, I'm kind of hurt that Ethan Ayers didn't say I'm his favorite U-Car driver.
Austin
that?
Davis, you're my favorite U-Car driver. He drives a Saturn at Langley.
Okay.
Just
I got you.
Jones' old car.
Oh,
The
yeah.
number 3
all,
car.
Okay. Yeah,
Orange-
yeah.
See,
Yep.
me and Austin Dodge both knew who you are, buddy. We love you.
No Saturns.
You're
are
my favorite.
badass.
I never even put in my input of my favorite. Don't
the
even.
The Saturns are nasty.
But Raymond Murphy says he remembers your dad screaming at him one night.
Okay,
Yeah,
Pat.
you might
That was
remember that, yeah.
Pat. I was
No, it's
I was
just not-
15 years old. No,
it's-
that's not even a big deal.
Yeah, let's
That
not
was
even
just-
get into that.
They had their
We love
issues,
you,
but
Raymond
they're
Pat
good.
Murphy.
Oh, Pat
and
Murphy
that
does a
was
great job at Woodfin. Yes.
That was water under the bridge. That's water under the bridge,
I work
baby.
with Pat now. He's cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, hell
that's
yeah.
funny.
They buried the hatchet, I think.
Okay,
It's still underground. It's rusty.
sure.
Yeah.
It's under the bridge.
Right.
Sounds like
Under
maybe
the
it's
bridge.
resurfacing
Under
a
the
little
bridge.
bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat.
Pat's resurfacing it.
Leave alone, Pat.
I didn't even find out Pat who like I helped Troy Carter. I mean, Troy Carter one
Yeah,
night
they're all
in the
buddies.
Grand Stocks, and then I was helping him all night, and then I think it was Pat came up and like helped us later on that night, and then I realized who I was hanging out with and like the history. And I'm like, oh shit, is this guy
Yeah.
about to beat me up?
Yeah.
I was like 15.
So we got
That's our
late models
junior guys,
left.
though.
I was smaller than I am
Late
now.
models and legends. Did y'all pick those yet?
We didn't do
Yeah, we
legends.
can't
Legend,
forget
Tommy
Legends
Jackson.
Yeah, that's
He
simple.
gets every pick here.
I'll pick him right now. I don't even pick anybody.
We already
I
did.
love Tommy.
Me and you did, I think.
Of course.
He's awesome.
No, you haven't been over here in a while.
No, it's been a
We
bit.
we picked him. I think one
I've
night
not
I was
been
like
on this
Alex
whole
Ayers
interview.
would pick him too. That's what I said.
You
I
never
didn't.
asked me.
I never do that. But all right,
never
modifieds.
cares.
Or no, I mean late models. Sorry. You said Thomas Stinson finalized modifieds.
Late mod with Chris Dotson. That's so generic, I'm sure, but
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
awesome because a lot of
I
people
like
would
Chris.
pick Eddie Johnson.
I like Eddie too. Really,
struggle
there's
with
nobody
that.
there that I
Yeah.
dislike. I like
I
Eddie.
pick Eddie Johnson because I have to because I've been saying that for years. But God, I love Chris Dodson.
Yeah.
How can we get him on this podcast?
Driving style wise,
Do
I
you
like
text him? You have him on Snapchat or anything?
Chris.
Do you have
Yeah.
him on Snapchat?
I got his phone
TikTok?
number.
Do you have a TikTok, by the way?
I do not have TikTok.
Chris Dotson's on
Me
like
neither.
nothing.
I have Chris's
I
phone
know.
number, but I don't have Chris. I don't think Chris does social media. It's probably a good thing
I know.
too. He's probably.
It's for the best.
I think he's
Pop
normal.
off.
I think he's totally normal in person.
I think yeah. I
You
see-
think that's
you
the
ever,
whole
you ever
thing
run
is
into
He's
him?
like-
totally normal, not in person.
You
Let's
ever
not
run
have
into-
him hear this.
I ran into him at like the
Yeah, I've
grocery
talked to
store
him
a couple
plenty
months
of
ago.
times.
He's cool. He
Yeah.
hooked my sister up on a good deal on her Hyundai or whatever she's called.
Oh my,
He's a good dealer, bro. I
Dude, I
can
love him.
I like
Yeah,
Chris
we bought
Hopkins.
some of our pickup
That's my
trucks from him
guy.
back in the day.
Chris Hopkins.
That's my late model guy.
Hey,
You had to
Chris
ask
Hopkins.
me.
When he won the late model and the modified race on the same night a few years ago,
With Alan
that
Marshall's
was
modified,
mean,
He
baby.
ran
Yeah,
Stevie
that's-
Little's
that's-
dude.
yeah, that's pretty badass. That's kind of hard to beat that.
That's a guy, and
Yeah.
he's like a vampire. I don't know if he's watching. Shout out Chris Hopkins, as Ethan would say, but he hadn't aged in like 30 years. He's been
It
racing.
looks
at
like he's gone
Southside
the other.
for
I mean,
50.
he's looked really good the last couple years.
I think he's
right?
20 years old.
He
He's
looks
been
like
racing
he
there
looks-
for 50
He
years.
tries his wings.
Yeah,
Like
he looks
Mickey Mouse.
younger now than he did.
I know.
10
He just
years
had a
ago.
baby. Shout out Chris Hopkins. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's probably
Congratulations, Chris Hopkins.
That's probably been the toughest thing anybody's done out there in a while is to win both of those in the same night.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Driving style, I mean, Eddie's really he's the master at saving his tires, the master in the long run.
Eddie Johnson, dude.
He's
I
not
watched
going to
him-
win all the
yeah.
poles, but he's always if it's.
He's
It's-
Mr.
it's-
Smooth of the late model.
And them going to 40 lap races or less every time,
You
I
gotta
think
get
it's hurt
after it,
him. It's
right.
hurt him a little bit. Because before, if you looked at the schedule, I'd say if there's going to be 20 races, if there's 10 short ones, I go Chris for those 10. If there's 10
Yeah.
long ones, I go Eddie for those 10 and see how the points
And
stack
Bugs,
out.
Bugs back in the day of those long races, he just did a great job. Bugs was the man,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he
Oh,
won.
Bugs
He
there,
won once
yeah.
a couple years ago.
He had won in like 18 years or something until that one. That was crazy. Good
Yeah,
for him.
I always pull. Yeah, I pull for him too when
Bugs, yeah.
he's running. You just
Oh, yeah.
always got to keep in mind that he's probably going to be parked by like lap 5.
he's literally checkers a record.
He like comes off turn 2 the first lap's like, nah, this thing's pushing. I quit. So,
Well, the 40 lapper, why would you? You know,
Yeah, he's like
you
the
know you're
same.
going to end up later on.
or
yeah.
a 7,500 lap, yeah.
yeah. This
I
is
think
ain't gonna
Bugs is Bud's favorite too.
work. I like Bugs.
Bugs
so,
is cool.
Yeah.
He's wild.
But overall, I'll go Chris overall. Plus, he's let me spot for him a handful of times too. So I've been the spotter for him when he's won 4 or 5 times.
That's cool.
Badass.
So that's kind of cool too.
Are you a pretty good spotter?
I'd like to think so. I mean,
I'm not. Well,
I don't
never done it.
I don't particularly like it.
I don't love it.
I spotted for Lane the couple years that he had our car.
Okay, you were good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were his favorite.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
If somebody prefers you over somebody else,
okay,
you're pretty decent.
Yeah. The
I
option
spot for somebody to just turn my radios off.
Sure. Well, that almost doesn't count to me because you know who you're racing with, you know who he's racing against. You've raced with them so much, you know his car.
That's true. And you
I know
the
the pace of
so
everything.
Well.
So to me, it's no big deal. But like what the hell am I going to tell Chris Dotson and what he needs to do differently about driving that car? You know.
Yeah, but it's all about just reading the traffic.
And the pace of it so much faster, too, you know? I mean, you wouldn't think 2 seconds a lap, but, like...
No, it's
you're trying to watch... Chris is in fifth, and they're single file or side-by-side, and you're calling, inside quarter, inside door, and, you're really focused on that, and then something pops off right there. 2 seconds later, they're right up on it,
Yeah, everything's
Whereas, like,
so
if you're
much
spot
faster.
for U-Car race or something, you can kind of look around at everything. It's not...
Yeah, you can do it a second later.
Especially if you're spotting like Chapman, you're just like, there's a car back there somewhere.
He's like, yeah, I know, I already hit it.
He's like, I already chopped across his nose, and it's whatever.
So your favorite late model driver, Chris Dotson. What about if we're gonna go Dominion Racers? I guess are we gonna go back to Logan Clark? I mean, I think he raced Dominion Racers.
Only ones that I know is that Lightfoot kid that used to run.
Zach Lightfoot. He still runs Dominion Racers.
Yeah, he used to run Legend
Which
cars
one?
too, right?
I'm
sure he won. Did he probably win the championship? I feel like I saw him on
I'm not
Facebook
asking
winning
that.
a
I'm
lot.
asking which one do you prefer?
Zach Lightfoot.
I'll go with the Lightfoot kid because I think he broke his ankle or something terribly,
He broke his leg in half at Dominion.
In a Legend car, and like terrible. And then that sounds like a good comeback story. I don't know.
There's a plate on the hood.
You guys
There's
like
a comeback
Kyle Busch? He did that.
I love Kyle Busch.
He pulled
broke
Kyle
all
Busch.
his legs, bro.
He
broke all three of his legs. Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, this kid broke his leg like Kyle, and then came back and won a championship for sure.
So many people hated that one too. They're like, "Oh man, you didn't even race."
I mean,
But then he came back in 2019 and did it
Well, the
again.
provisionals were also made for Tony Stewart, who broke his back on like a fucking ATV that year. Or
Yeah,
something.
true.
With
Yeah,
Jeff
I mean,
Gordon.
Yeah,
With Ray Evernham.
You got to be top 30 in points, and then
that was going to be my next question. Who's your favorite Cup driver? Obviously, Jeff Gordon is X.
Yeah,
Who is it now, though?
He's gonna make him shed a tear, Ethan. Just God.
Oh, he's over.
Yeah, I posted that on Facebook last week.
Are you still into the Firebird
and,
stuff?
And
you want this? I tried to give a gift to somebody.
Dang.
Last time.
I sold mine though.
Did you?
Did you?
Well, there's a
I had
memorabilia,
the red
I know. No, I
LT
remember.
car. Yeah, I got rid of it.
Okay.
Well, I was living in an
remember you
apartment
trying to sell it.
complex,
That was like
and
6
I
years
had
ago. So.
One parking pass. He's
Makes
like,
sense
cool.
that you sold it.
I was like,
now,
I'm gonna get a ticket for my spare car sitting here. And once I bought my Super, I just didn't drive it that much. And now I got a work truck too, so it's just.
Oh, you got a work
And
truck.
it was right at the point where we're starting to kind of go downhill a little bit. It was a 94, like 150,000 miles on it. Really, probably more the age than the mileage.
Yeah.
And I was getting tired of working on it.
Brake lines are rusting out and shit.
You're still a fan of those cars, though, huh?
Oh yeah. I would love to find like a 2000, 2002, something like that, like a WS6 Trans Am that's clean.
You will.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of them sitting around.
But you're still a fan of the
yeah.
I gave Chapman a. He said I said Dale. Yeah, he said Dale Jarrett, not Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, that's
So I gave him a Dale Jarrett like poster that I had.
blue 88 Robert Yates car.
I got
Quality
Jeff
Pride.
Gordon
Y'all were
there.
freaking out about that night. You're like,
I do have
cool. Quality Pride.
I do have one Jeff Gordon hat over there, but the hats in here. I'll tell you later.
I got like 30 Jeff Gordon.
Okay.
hats,
Well,
so.
all right. Well, you probably don't.
Man,
want
I would say that of current guys that I like, it sounds dumb to go with Chase because he just won championship, but I really pull for him a whole lot.
You were doing that before anyway.
Yeah,
I think.
and I really also like.
I'm not going to bandwagon
Ryan Blaney too.
Really?
Yeah, I like those two guys.
Blaney, yeah.
I like Blaney.
I like Blaney too.
And he also does a really good
Yeah.
podcast
He's gotten a fight
too.
with, like,
I don't know
9
if you ever guys listen. You ever
Glass
listen?
Case of Emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've called them
Podcast.
out like 9 times, but they only do like an episode every 9
Yeah.
months.
Well, he's got a pretty busy schedule.
I've got kids. Fuck 'em. You know?
Yeah.
I got a business schedule every day.
Ethan
Fuck
was about to
kids.
tell you a story about Martinsville in 2019
Well,
with two Blaney fans.
It
There
was
was two
18.
separate ones.
I think it was
2019. No, it was last year, 2019.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was two
there's like
separate.
3 Blaney fans. Yeah, it's all these Blaney fans
Blaney
just
they're
like talking
so
shit,
hateful.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we're walking around like Kyle Busch.
Oh, they were
deer.
just
Dude, it
heckling
was like
you
9
guys?
o'clock.
Four
No,
of us.
it was
Oh
earlier. It
my
was like
God.
8 o'clock in the morning. We got
It's
to
like
Martinsville.
3 different episodes where we almost got in fist fights with these guys.
Dude, we went out.
Mostly a Rizzle But
It wasn't me. Come on.
But
It
still,
was-
Ryan Blaney guys in general talking mad shit
About how
hated
much
us,
better
yeah.
he is than Kyle Busch and
or whatever. Just
They
like
just
shit that
they
didn't make
saw my
sense.
hat and they yelled at me at 8:00 in the morning
Oh no.
at Martinsville. And dude, I was like, "What did you say to me?"
F this guy.
And I'm like,
I
"Bro,
was like,
come on."
what?
Yeah.
I
I
like
would
the
just-
party,
He said,
man.
"Come at me, bro."
The guy never came at me, bro. And
See, that's what I'm saying. This is why the fights almost get started. I would have just been like,
we were hungover. We just
whatever.
ate
You know
breakfast.
what I mean? You know what I mean? I would have just let it roll off my back.
We were out till 3:30 in the morning at that shitty ass bowling
Oh,
bar.
dude, that was the best place ever, though.
It was great.
That wasn't a bowling bar. That was a bar with a bowling alley attached to it.
Right. Yeah. And then this guy showed up and saw my hat and yelled at me. And I'm like, dude, it's 8:00 in the
I'm
morning.
over
I
it,
don't
man.
give a Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
well, and you and Brad.
Well,
Or, I mean,
well,
you
Brad's
and
a bit-
TJ and I all had that stuff on, and then Brad had
Right.
the.
Yeah.
Blaney, he's a Blaney fan.
Yeah.
But Brad was a cool Blaney fan. Yeah.
Yeah,
And on the flip side, if I'd pick somebody in Cup that I really dislike, I'd go like Joe Logano.
That's
Yes,
what I'm talking
everybody. Yeah. We,
Can't
if
stand
Roll
it.
I didn't
Bar
have
goes
that
to his
question
heart
on
tomorrow,
here,
we'll
but
all
I'm
just-
down
I
for
really,
asking
I
that.
really can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, you were there
I
for
used
the
to not
Matt
like
Kenseth
Brad
thing, right? huh?
for a while. Yeah, that was great. I was there for the Matt
It's
Kenseth
I
thing.
think it's a Penske thing.
The
minus,
Matt Kenseth deal.
well,
you were
I
at
was
Martinsville.
sitting maybe just past start finish line.
were you there for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
I was just past start finish line, about
Yeah.
2/3 of the way up. And
How was
saw,
that in real
saw him
life?
come by. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go!" And like you knew it was. We
You
all had
knew.
tanners on.
You knew as a racer, you're like,
I know.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Can you know what happened the week before, 2 weeks before,
I
whatever.
was
Kansas-
so mad.
oh,
that
And they
yeah.
all wadded
yeah.
him up off turn 2 in that same
Wadded him.
race. You're like, "Oh shit, here we go." And I went to Martinsville every race from like 2009ish until
Yeah,
that
you
was
did.
until
You
Until
watched
Matt
Jeff Gordon
Kenseth.
win his last one,
right. And then I went the next year. Well, I was supposed to go the next year when he drove Dale Jr.'s car too, but
Right.
that was the same weekend as Bud's Halloween party, and it didn't work out so good.
You can't miss that.
Makes, it
I
happens.
wasn't feeling so well. The party was Saturday. The race was Sunday. It would have been fine normally, but
Well,
party went on until Sunday. And
That-
well,
Yeah,
the
they
party
always
was
do.
fun enough for both of them. Huh?
yeah. But yeah, so Jeff won. That was amazing. But I was there the year before Dale Jr. won in the fall of 14, and he beat Jeff Gordon by like a car length or whatever. And that place erupted. Seeing Jr. win in person.
Yeah.
When Kenseth jumped
I remember
Logano,
that. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
louder than when Jr. won. So that just shows you how happy that place was. I mean, they were cheering like as they come off forward, heading that way because everybody in the whole stands knew what
They
we
knew
were
it was
Yeah.
about to be
And
They
done.
were all just like, "Here it
Yeah,
comes."
and to say that was bigger than Earnhardt winning at Martinsville, because
Yeah.
that was so big, because Earnhardt
That's
Jr.
big.
never won at Martinsville.
No, that was his.
He was jumping up and down.
Oh yeah, they had
You know what I mean? Like-
oh yeah, they were.
He was
They
going
were
insane.
partying.
Him and who was his crew chief? Dale
Letarte.
Inman,
Letarte.
Steve Letarte.
They were
Steve,
talking.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
announcer or great inbox guy.
Yeah, I like
I like
Steve. Yeah,
me
yeah,
personally.
yeah. That was nuts.
Who's your rival? If you want to bring up 22,
Ooh, a
Joe
rival.
Logano, who's your rival?
Dang.
Oh man,
I already, I guess, said that mine's Brian Smith. Who
Austin
used to
needs
be.
a pen and paper, dude. I'm kidding.
You have a bunch of them.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Don't bring up any X's.
It could be
The
a friendly rival too.
I guess maybe Dan Rogers as of the
Yeah.
last like 3 or 4
You
years.
root
or
for
so.
him. You said you root for him.
Well, I
That-
mean,
that's
I don't
if
want
it's
none
a
of that.
friendly rivalry.
I
Yeah,
would
I don't want
say
that. I want
since-
some real
Since
dirt.
I want
We
that
need the
real
dirt.
shit. You know,
Yeah.
the Nate Diaz.
I don't really. I don't know. I mean,
Mike Chapman.
I
Fuck
could-
him, right?
yeah.
Y'all were teammates
He's only
and
done me.
rivals at the
He's
same
only.
time.
He's only, and I wouldn't even say done me wrong because it was for the win. So I think all bets go off at that point.
Oh, no doubt.
The line of what's right or wrong gets.
I'll wreck Ethan for $50.
Right.
Almost
Yeah.
tried
Well-
to this year, actually.
I think we had to pay to race in this race, and he still tried to wreck me. So that shows you what. We went to East Carolina like. I don't
It
know.
sounds about right.
About
Yeah.
pride,
I might
dude.
have been like 17.
Pride don't come
or
cheap.
18
Right.
maybe. It's like probably 10 years ago.
He
And
was
I
like 15, yeah.
and
or no, you said 17.
it was the second year. 'Cause I trashed. We had a Cavalier first that I destroyed at Langley, and then we built a Sunfire. So it was the second year.
Damn, dude, you don't wreck that many cars. Why have you
Austin's
brought up
rival-
all four of
Jennifer
them?
Allen says Austin's rival is Dale for sure from Langley. Dale from Langley?
Oh, you know.
Is it DAIL?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
The guy that you accidentally wrecked.
I don't really know him,
More
but
than one
yeah.
Dale?
Well, it could have been like Dale Earnhardt Dale. That's why.
Is that your
She
rival?
said DAIL.
No.
DAIL.
There's a guy named Alan Dale, and his son or his Matt Dale runs Legend Cars around here too. We're all probably Facebook friends with that crew. Anyway,
Tag him.
I don't,
Ethan
maybe
wants you to tag him, Jennifer.
Alan Dale is probably like in his 40s or I guess he's maybe a little bit past Facebook Prime age or whatever. But
He's not on TikTok.
no, he's not on TikTok. But well,
Damn.
He's gonna see this later.
I guess one at a time here. The Allendale
That's the last
thing
name.
was
You wrecked
at
it.
Langley. That's when I destroyed the Cavalier.
Same story.
there we
then,
go.
huh?
Yeah, he had like a green probe or something like that. I think it was a
That was the
probe.
last name. He wrecked him for the win, is what Jennifer said.
Yeah. No, well, I wrecked him and neither one of us won. Is what
Oh,
happened.
dang.
No, it was completely my fault.
Yeah.
Although at the time I didn't think it was. He was just kind of running like halfway down the straightaway, blocking.
I hate that
I
shit,
kept
dude.
in Langley. Y'all have run there before. I mean, it's heavy.
In a street stock.
It's real flat. It's really that whole kind of driving on the
Ugh.
right rear, then cut the bottom's kind of harder to
There
do.
is no straightaway.
because it's so flat. You know what I mean?
Circle. It's
It ain't like
driving on a clock.
you can get on their right rear and go on a little bit higher and kind of cut under them at Southside or some other places and try to make
Yeah.
it happen.
You
But
can
it's
set
so-
up the corner.
But
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
it's so wide that by taking that wider entry, like you actually drive so much further of a distance. It's
It
just
makes
hard
much
to.
more of a one groove track when it's so wide because the bottom
Yeah.
has to be the only.
and
access
before,
point,
and
you know?
then before they repaved it lately, and they have an apron, but they
They
used to
have
not have
a
much
new
more.
paved bottom apron. I
So,
heard, yeah.
3 and 4 you didn't. So like if you try to go on the right rear then cut under, if you didn't get all the way under, there's a grass and a
There's a
ditch.
wash pit,
so
yeah.
you
Oh,
really,
yeah.
so you really couldn't like.
I've seen cars hop down.
There wasn't
I mean,
no
it's
like
rough in there.
There wasn't no like clip the rumble strips off of 2 at Southside kind of thing. It's you're on the track or you're
What's
wrecked.
up?
Jennifer said the rivalry went into iRacing, and then Michael Chapman got Austin's second place trophy that night.
He does, yeah.
So this kid tried to race you every race in iRacing. For a
So
while?
the guy that
You
I
still
wrecked
play
on
iRacing?
I did. I was playing earlier. That's why I was maybe a few
badass.
minutes.
He was a little bit late. He was iRacing dude. He was
Yeah.
iRacing
Priority.
Mr. Dale.
You weren't late. I prefer.
There's
Yeah.
too
Wrecking
many
Dale.
there's too many cautions.
You got here before 10, huh?
I did.
That's what I'm talking
Like
about, baby.
9:52 or something.
It's ideal.
That's what I'm saying. It
It's
doesn't
ideal.
matter as long as it's before
I'm here.
10. I don't see what happens is sometimes I invite people and they're like, it's like 7. They're like, I'm here. I'm like, dude, I
Got
gotta
kids.
put kids.
Yeah.
I gotta make dinner, put my family to bed.
Yeah.
Then I gotta
Dishes.
set
That's
up
why I
the whole
asked. I didn't
studio.
know.
I got 30 minutes of fucking wires to run. Don't get here too early. Yeah, you did ask, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But like some people would be like, oh, I'm running late. And it's like 9:30. They're like, I'll be here at 9:40, and they're freaking. I'm like, dude, don't worry. about
9:40
it.
is a great time.
Stop and get a
Some-
drink
yeah.
first,
Yeah.
like please.
That's before the
Sometimes
dog
there's
goes
nobody
berserk.
out here with me, and I'm still 5 minutes late. So it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. But no,
But-
I appreciate you coming on time, though.
Yeah, man. So I wrecked Alan Dale for the lead. We both wrecked, and then I think Mike was running 4th, who then got to finish 2nd. That's why I said he has my 2nd place trophy.
Yeah.
I tried one of them kind of outside under crossover kind of deals, and I
Oh, I
felt-
respect
We
the
come off
fact that you
come off
yeah.
turn 4, and I got what it maybe was about a third of an inch up under inside of his bumper, and I said, "Well,
Yeah.
that's enough for me." We're
It
going.
might have been a foot.
Yeah, so I drove it down into one. He
It
kind of
was enough to touch him.
He kind of clipped down across, and we got together a little bit, and I just lost
The
it.
rest is history.
Yeah, and we end up both in the outside fence there off turn 2. I think I caught the wall opening.
Ooh.
We're not-
With the
that's
right
a good-
front
Like
and
Michael
it-
Waltrip
that's
at
good.
Bristol. Gosh.
Yeah, it pushed the right front back. It left there's an imprint in the firewall on the floorboard where the right front tire came back, and yeah, it tore.
That's-
Smash the.
Yeah,
That was
it
a
was
bad
dumb.
Bud Allen day. That was
How did
Yeah.
you feel the next day?
He felt great. He was
I
like
was okay.
14.
He was
Yeah.
young. Yeah.
Yeah, but
nimble.
we had to like leave immediately.
Well, here's
because
the
there
thing,
was,
is
like
that-
a riot was getting ready to erupt. It was championship night, and that dude would
I
have
think
won
Bud
the
turned his head
championship
around
had
that
that
night.
not
Yeah.
happened too. So to make it even worse, we were out of town as a one-off. That guy, had he won the race, would have been the champion.
Oh.
But he ended up
Oh.
backwards with a total car, and then another guy won.
Hey, didn't
so
your dad do that at Langley one night? Oh, Mr. Donnie
He wrecked a bunch of people in like one of those enduro kind of races.
Yeah,
I don't mean
Those.
He's told me the story like
but
three
it wasn't.
times.
But it was like a true enduro, not like an enduro class. Like it was like get
He
any
said the guy
car.
passed out and like had to come
Anything
to and
pass-
stuff.
yeah.
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 What?
Oh yeah, he destroyed some fella.
Yeah.
Well, there's no roll cages and shit in this type of classes.
This
Those
was
are
more
like
like
a
this was
bit
this was more
like
like
Jeans and
a
a football
like a
helmet.
day of destruction
Like,
kind of
thank
enduro.
God, I
A
wasn't
leather
here for
football
that.
helmet. Yeah.
So
Donnie said he hit him so hard the guy passed
well, apparently,
out and died almost.
yeah. Well,
This is
apparently
Donnie.
the
Yeah.
story.
What's up, Donnie?
I think the backstory to that was this was supposed to be like a day of destruction-esque level enduro, where it's literally you just grab a piece of junk car and go. And one guy brought like a mic and no street stock kind of thing out there to it, because it was like $1,000 to win or something. And this guy was like, "Well, I'm just going to come out here with a real race car and steal $1,000."
It was Mike and O.
So I think Steve Meadows was
Yes.
originally supposed to drive the car, and
Right.
he was. And that Steve.
Yeah.
And
He
then
was-
Donnie
he was
ended
gonna
up
drive
right
it?
This was back in like the.
No offense,
I'm gonna-
Spider Steve. I'm
gonna guess this
This is
was
like when I hear about
early-
Chris Steffi
early
driving
90s
against Danny
maybe?
Hamlin. I'm like, What?
I may be wrong on the time of them, but I think this was probably like the early 90s maybe. And so they kept telling Steve, he'd come down because you get a flat tire here and there because the race was like 100 laps or something. They kept telling him to go out there and wreck that guy. He's, just go out there and wreck him, get him out of here. And he wouldn't do it. So when he came down, my dad was like, "Get out of the car, I'll do it." So my dad was a crew member, got in the car, went out, hooked him head on into the fence.
Baseball hat.
Said he hooked him head on into the wall. Got hit the wall. When he came back around the next lap, he was still sitting there like slunched over.
Limp.
And
He was limp, dude.
So my
You
dad
gotta hear the Donnie
took
story.
the car,
You gotta
drove
call
it
that.
off the track, right up on the trailer, and was like, "We got to get the hell out of here." And I guess they loaded up, and everybody thought Steve was driving. So Steve was like apparently getting ready to get his ass whooped on pit road, and they were like
Bud
loading
turned his
up.
hat around that night too.
Yeah, they
Did
get
the
in the
man
truck.
live? The guy that died?
Yeah, he made it. Yeah.
Eventually he came too.
The Camaro didn't though.
Donnie Gerard
His
is known
coma
for-
ended like a month later.
Donnie got a teardrop tattoo on his face that night.
Yeah.
He killed a man.
He got a spider on his elbow.
And I'm sure there may be.
Way to go, Donnie. Shout out Donnie Gerard.
Yeah. There may be some details I got wrong there, but that's a long story
No,
short.
it was pretty much the same.
He almost killed a guy.
As soon as he left, he robbed a bank and then went home.
Pinned it on Steve. They thought Steve did it, so he's down there trying to fight his way out of there. Meanwhile, they're on the out. Steve's standing on pit road. They're on the outside pits loading shit up, trying to leave, and I think they may have left Steve there to fight.
Fend for himself.
Get a ride home, man.
Oh,
Damn.
Like, we ain't got time. We got to go. We got to go.
Pre-Uber days too.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
So,
That's amazing.
Well,
so Langley, I've yet to have a successful
Me neither.
ending at a Langley.
We've not had any
I'd just
success
rather
there.
go watch the fireworks on the 4th of July race instead of go race there myself.
yeah, me and Alex have changed 3 rear ends at
Three
Langley
rear
in
ends.
the gravel pits, and we've
Yep.
not even finished
Bit
third.
push
I don't
ride.
think.
I
so.
finished
But
fifth there one night in an enduro. I
Get
got
a
50
beer
bucks.
really quick, Tina.
I'm sorry, $75
Get a beer.
cash when I left that joint.
Yeah.
And then we
No.
got a flat tire on the way home on the trailer.
Sorry.
Oh man, but
was
the
my
Alan
best
Dale
night
thing. So Jennifer said it spilled over to iRacing. So that this was Alan. I'm gonna say if I was 15, this guy might have been 30 or something at the time. I don't know.
older man. Oh,
Yeah.
It was his dad that owned the car? Or
No.
it was-
Alan owned his own car, and he's like 30 and did this thing. Well, his nephew's name is Matt Dale, and he races legend cars right now, and he's my age roughly.
Fair enough.
And I didn't know who this guy was. I just know that I was playing on iRacing at Langley, and I kept getting just crashed over and over and over and over. And like in the chat, it would just be like, "Fuck off."
We need to take
Like,
Austin to Langdon
I come
this
off
year
pit
in
road.
Utah.
I come off pit road. Wouldn't even make off the backstretch and just get drilled
Redeem
again.
himself.
Fuck off. Fuck you. And I'm like, what is going on? And then he's like, this was for my uncle, bro. Bam, and wrecked me again. And this was
Are there any Dales there?
this was like
iRacing
5
fan.
years after happening. Like, what? Who is this guy? And then he like added me as a friend on there and was like, yeah, I'm getting my fucking revenge because you wrecked my uncle, and cost me a championship when I was,
These families, man.
It's like, oh my gosh, man, you're wrecking me
Ruthless.
wrecking me 5 years later on a video game over that shit. You know?
Did you report him or no?
That's some
No.
Cameron Ruggles shit,
No.
dude. You get
No,
that's
but turns
awesome.
out, but I, it was just a video game. I didn't know. Might as well have been some kid, cussing me out on Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, then
it
like a
doesn't
couple years later, I met him in person.
numb to it,
He
yeah.
was I was running the orange Grand Stock car with Bud at
Beast mode,
Southside, and he was
Dang.
there, and I think he won the Legend car race that night. And I actually met him in person. And he's actually a cool kid.
You punched him in the throat?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
They were past the throat
Sorry.
punch.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but it's all
Fair enough.
water under the bridge now.
That's that
Yeah.
buried hatchet with rust on it again.
It's that rusty hatchet under the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But-
pick it back up one day and fuck
But
somebody
at
up with it real
Southside
bad.
Speedway, I'd say my main rival has probably been
Oh yeah, back to that.
Dan. It's probably been Dan. But
your
it's not.
friendly
Cowboy
rival.
Man.
Yeah. I mean,
So your
we've-
friendly rival is Dan. Who's
He's
your
moved me out of the
non-friendly
way
rival?
for wins.
Who do you want to punch in the throat?
Who do you want to wreck the shit out of right now, if you could?
I
Man.
don't have anybody like that, but I do have rivals. I wouldn't wreck
Oh.
Brian
Oh,
Smith
I have
right
somebody
now,
like
but-
I
that.
want to wreck Ethan right now.
Yeah, Tina's never even driven a race car. She's got rivals. What the fuck?
Damn.
I hate so many people.
You know how many times I got second?
I
to
guess like
Ethan?
the first year I did it was I'd say my main rival on the track was probably Donnie Newman.
Yeah, y'all had a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
I ended up
wasn't
moving
too
him.
dirty, was it?
Not really. No,
Not
we
that it
we
has
never
to
turned
be.
each other
Not that it has to
around.
be.
But I mean, I moved him out of the way to win my first race, and he wasn't super thrilled about
Right.
that.
But that was
And
not
then-
a
and then-
friendly rivalry. That was just a real, true rivalry.
It was, yeah. Only reason I
respect
wouldn't have
that.
even have thought it as a bad rivalry until the very end when we won, and then
Some
we got
drama.
DQ'd in Tech, and everybody was,
It was a big.
Right.
Well, that's how it started with me and Brian Smith, dude. There was a one night when A. Rizzle had already gotten out of racing. My dad was still in racing, but he wasn't racing that night or something maybe. But I had tried my best 3 times, very aggressively, to move Brian Smith out of the way. this wasn't the beginning of the rivalry. This was stages, deep stages into the rivalry.
Yeah.
He's running first. I'm running second. I try 3 or 4 times aggressively and not in the right way to move him to get into the lead and finish second.
Yeah.
He wins the race.
Yeah.
I, as a 17-year-old or whatever I was, I was 17 at the time, by myself in the pits, no parents, no brothers, no nothing, walk up to him in victory lane, or after victory lane, to just say, like, sorry, dude, I had to try, all this type of stuff. And I did it out of my own will. It wasn't like somebody told me to go over there to him or whatever. I walk over to him to say all that, like, sorry, I had to try, and he, like, is cussing me out after winning the race against me.
Fuck that guy.
You know what I mean? He's like a 30-something-year-old man. I'm 17. I did my best to hit him up out of the way. Maybe I was too aggressive about it, but he still won the race.
Yeah.
And
if you don't win, then yeah, I mean,
it's a whole. You can be
reaction.
mad as you want. If I would have wrecked him out of the, as a 17-year-old with nobody around me and no crew, and he's a 30-something-year-old man, if I would have wrecked him out of the way and won, I would have never gone over to his pit stall.
Yeah, I would have drove to victory lane. You probably just drove right on out the back gate.
Yeah, like I'm going. But no, he went to victory lane, and I finished second. I just wanted to say, like, hey, dude, like, I know that we're kind of rivals, but I just want you to know, like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Even though we are rivals, I was
Yeah.
kind of trying to make it cool, which was as a 17-year-old by myself, and then for him to just start cussing me out.
Yeah.
I was like, well, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then and Mike Gano and Jim Loving, they're definitely watching right now. No, but they were standing right there for this. And then I turned around, like I was trying to shake his hand and say, sorry, I had to try to go for it. He tried to cuss me out, like, fuck you, you went too far, blah blah blah. And I said, well, hey, fuck him. And I can't remember what I said to them. And then it was kind of like the turning point where they were like, yeah, that was kind of fucked up. And I don't know. I just remember that kind of like as a point of, like, I don't know.
You didn't come here to make friends. You brought your own.
Well, it's not even that, but like you and Donnie Newman got into it. Like he wasn't happy about it when you tried to move him out of the way. It just kind of, that's what sparked my memory, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I just went on my own tangent.
No.
I'm just used to doing podcasts by myself lately, so I've just like went off there. But anyway, thanks for joining us.
And he was I guess him and
Donnie's very passionate.
Him
and Tommy Tatum were the
he
guys.
He didn't want some young freshman coming up on him.
Right.
You were like 16 at the time. You were extremely competitive.
I think
you were probably better.
He'd won his fair share of races over the 5, 6, 7 years
boy.
before.
Whew.
And I think that was the first year that Tommy Tatum was like not gonna race full time.
Right.
Actually, JD Eversole was running his car to start that season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were doing like a rental ride.
That was
kind of
2012, I think.
2011.
Right?
In the white and red 62.
Yep.
Or in the JD. Okay.
No, it was a white and red 62. That was JD's car the year before. That was a black
was
98. We bought it from them, kind of revamped it, whatever. They were going to go late model racing. And they did, but also for fun, they were like, hey, we'll pay you whatever it is a week, and we'll go grand stock racing and have some fun. So they pit next to us, and we, not really be teammates, but kind of, cordially hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
And
nobody knows better than them.
But Donnie, I think, was expecting to kind of come in, and that was going to be his year. He was always would win. If they ran 20 races, he'd win 3 or 4 of them, be in the hunt. But Tommy Tatum always won the championship.
Yeah.
Or Chris Hott or one of those guys.
One of the
would always win.
Reno guys,
or the Reno car. They would always. He never got a championship. So he thought, like, this is my shot. And then we show up out of nowhere. I was 17 when that season started, and just the first we broke a rear the first race. It was a shortened season because I think Sue had a stroke.
She did. Yeah, it was like an 8-race season.
Yeah, we didn't start till like June or something. So.
Yeah,
I think we broke a rear the very first night, and then we won our second race out. And I think
that was this picture, wasn't it? The second night of the season.
No, that was the third.
That was like 47th win of the season.
That's actually from the next year.
Oh, really?
That's from 2012. That's probably opening night of 2012, maybe. Or no, it wasn't. I drove a backup car for
David Talley.
David Talley. Because
He
this
built a
I
carburetor
forgot about
before.
that.
we had a new motor built for this car and it blew up in
18 car,
practice.
What color was that?
It was
what number
it was a
that car,
flat black with orange 18 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18.
I forgot you did that.
We
Dude.
finished
I remember
fourth or
that.
fifth.
That's
So
how he
this-
won the
this was-
championship. Was
this
partly
was
because
the
he got
week-
to start off the year with that car because
Yeah.
his
That's right.
he had a
This
problem
was the
with
week
car.
right after, or the race right after.
You ran pretty good in that one car, but you finished fourth.
I finished fourth or fifth.
With never having had driven it.
Yeah,
with it,
we
that car
qualified.
that car had been in the garage for a little bit too. So I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
set up. You like
Car.
he called you on like a Thursday night. There was a race
Well-
on a Saturday night. And it was like,
Yeah,
where your car's down. We got to practice tomorrow.
I don't really know how that word got around. I mean, I'm glad it did. You know, I've run into him several times since then, and always been real appreciative. But
I think your dad
We
said
went-
something like that.
oh, I don't know.
You saying how did that
how
get
did
around?
he? Yeah, because like we went and practiced like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday after my dad got off work. Leading up, it was the week of
Well, that
race
was your
week.
second season.
Yeah, but I didn't know him.
Well, I know that you
And
were
I
an
don't know
extremely popular driver at the time. That it should have essentially, you know what I mean? Like you were
Yeah.
a championship driver.
Yeah.
at
I
the
mean, you're
time
still
that-
popular, Austin. Just
You're
saying.
everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Not at the time.
You're Caleb's favorite.
Apparently,
Yeah.
you're Austin's as well.
You
He
were-
says you're his favorite driver after you gave
Austin
him his
Davis
trophy
loves Austin Dodge.
when he went to his first race close to his birthday.
What?
Aww.
Oh, how about that?
Oh,
Look, Austin
That's
Davis.
awesome. Yeah.
no, Andrew Fuller.
Oh, Andrew Fuller. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry,
Say
Austin
Rito
Davis.
was loud.
Andrew.
I can't hear you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I
Andrew
do remember that.
Fuller.
Fuller.
Who else is watching?
Yeah.
We gotta
Fuller, I
go,
thought that was your favorite, dude. I gave
any
you
shout outs?
like a
Kenny
hat or something.
Allen says you guys keep me awake more than any other show so far. Cool dude.
Cool
And
dude
Fuller.
and the hustler.
We're not putting people to
Kenny
sleep.
Allen.
What
dude.
up, Kenny Allen? Yeah, that's
Kenny
our
Allen,
goal to
dude,
not
Kenny
put
Allen goes to
people
sleep
to
every
sleep.
time when it's just me. When it's you, he's here, baby. That's all I'm talking about.
Oh, Shannon Ruggles is watching. Let's not talk about Shenandoah. Okay, let's just move on.
Well, Shannon Rose.
Thanks for bringing
Get
that
it.
up, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dick.
I saw her
wasn't
name
there.
and I had to
Do
say.
you have
I've been
anything
joking
else?
with
You
her all
have
year.
good comments when
I
you read off?
wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
We got to the local things.
Chris
I'm only
Dodson
down
and
to
Chris
here on my
Hopkins
page,
It's
so
good.
we're
It's
gonna have
good.
to-
We got ammo then.
Let's
Yeah,
see
yeah.
here.
What
Some-
you said you raced earlier. That was one of my questions. I thought you were kind of out of it, but you said you were doing it.
I do it
earlier
every. Yeah, I do it every. Yeah, I've been playing a lot more PlayStation than I have been that.
Do you ever play with anybody like famous, like the NASCAR?
Very
driver guys?
rarely. Yeah, but
You
like
see them on there?
from time to time, but normally not like a
Don't
whole
be casual
whole
about it.
Like
crew
who?
of them.
Like who?
Well, because
Everybody's gonna wonder, yeah.
it's like other. I don't know if a lot of other games are this way too, but you can put up like a lobby that's private,
Right.
password protected.
Yeah.
So if Junior wants to race with his buddies, like we're not
You get
getting in-
invited to that?
We're not. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I can't run with those guys because it's a big. You have to put in the
we don't
password.
care about that, Austin.
Thanks,
what do we
Fuller.
care about? Who
So,
are you racing with?
I've raced with like I've been in a race with Junior on there before.
Really?
I've heard a lot about that.
Denny
Like,
Hamlin.
It happens. Well, once you're up to his iRacing level,
yeah, I'm not there.
Denny Hamlin's on there quite a bit.
I got fifth at a street
Uh,
stock race one time here in this garage.
Ryan.
that
Ryan
was the best
Truex.
iRacing level I've ever gotten. Is when Alex
I
was
was
on my six.
disgusted.
Yeah, yeah.
Ryan Truex.
I finished 11th every
Martin's
race
little
with him.
brother. He
Yeah.
races there a lot.
He's-
Corey LaJoy's on there a lot. Some of
That
those
sounds
other
weird.
guys, like, did y'all watch the iRacing stuff when they were doing it on TV?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
A lot of the
Absolutely.
guys who were like, they run like in the back of the pack and cup, but they were kicking ass on
Yes.
iRacing. All those, like Timmy Hill.
Shout out to all those guys.
Well, yeah, well,
Couple
they
of guys
actually can
won
drive,
races.
because they can actually drive.
Yes.
They just don't have the money.
have the equipment.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I've never been like Kyle Busch. I've never seen him on there.
To back that up, a lot of people
Now, Kyle
say
can't
that
do iRacing. He's not good at it.
this is a question I don't have written
They're
down.
just different. You know?
Yeah, they're way different.
You,
yeah.
I mean, if
Don't
you're,
let me forget about this, though.
Okay, sure.
I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
This is a question that, like I said, I don't have written down, but a lot of people think that this is about maybe me and you. You said that these guys can drive, but they don't have the equipment. A lot of guys, a lot of people and fans and not fans actually mostly think, and I'm hearing about this a little bit more, think that people like me and you, or mostly me, I'm just deflecting it on you,
Well, no.
cannot drive, but it's mostly due to the equipment that we have been dealt with.
Right.
What is your answer to that?
Yeah.
We both know that that's not
The reason why we win. per se.
exactly. Yes, but what do you say to the, I guess, haters that say that the only reason they win is because they have this car, that car, this team owner, this? You know what I mean, which it obviously helps. I'm not denying that
Sure,
at all.
sure.
But
No, yeah. I mean, if you don't have a well
there's times
prepared
when I
car,
qualify sixth and I have the sixth fastest lap time of the night, and I win the race, and people are like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
of course he won." It's like,
Can I answer part of that from me watching
Sure.
both of y'all two?
Sure.
As fans of y'all,
sure.
yeah.
I've
I'd
seen
love to
both
hear.
of y'all do things in subpar vehicles and win races.
Yeah,
I think that
would be
stands alone.
that would be like my number one. I
Yeah.
guess come back
The-
to that would be
Yeah.
well. Yes, having a very rarely in my racing career, like less than 5% of the time, have I shown up at the racetrack with a car that I felt wasn't as
good enough or
wasn't
whatever.
either
Right.
in my eyes was the best car.
Right.
You know, maybe it wasn't, but like I've always drove cars that are either built by Bud or my dad or some combination
The
of
good
the two.
stuff, right?
So I know we're gonna get there, and this car is gonna be clean. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fast. It's mechanically sound.
Right.
You know, if we don't win, it's probably my fault.
It happens, right.
Which is also a little bit of a
That's
pressure.
not always true though, because you raced U cars back in the day. You're talking about like a 2-year or 1-year Grand Stock stint when you were the dominant car. I'm talking about the years when you were in U car and you would, or even
He's always like
even in the
I finished second in the points those 2 years.
yeah, and even in the road course stuff that you're in now, you're not the fastest car. And granted,
I'm not I'm not the best driver. I mean, if there's 80 teams out there, which is probably
that's normal.
200.
I watch a
If
lot
there's
of
200 drivers, I mean, there's
he's decent.
no. I mean, I'm better than. I feel like I'm better than 70% of them. But I mean,
yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I was saying,
I agree.
If Peyton Sellers is running that weekend, which when we run with the guys
he
like
does
that,
sometimes, right?
That's
like,
pretty badass.
I'm not better than him. I'm sorry. As much as I'd like to think I am,
of course.
I'm not.
Yeah,
maybe I will
not.
be when I'm 42 or whatever.
Well, no, you
He's like,
could be.
when I got
You might
847
be.
wins,
if I
too.
race
don't know.
if I race 25 weekends a year for the next 25 years, then maybe I'll be, But and there's professional IMSA and former open wheel road racing guys and stuff that you show up there and you're racing against a factory Mazda team that's got 5 guys that are all competing for.
There's so many variables.
I think that like
I don't want to get it too confusing. There's so many variables now.
No, I think
there's a lot of stuff.
What's important,
but I've
I wanted
won
to relate
races,
it to that, but
I've won races in probably 7 or 8 different vehicles in 4 different divisions and stuff.
I think what's
even
important to realize
going back
too,
to drag racing too. So it's like
Ethan's first street stock win was literally in a car that I think he paid $1,200 for.
Yeah.
Against cars that $1,500 maybe, something like that. It was the Regal. You put your motor in it.
Yeah, no, I paid $400 for the car because he was that big
okay, there you go. And he put his $1,500 motor in it, right?
$1,200 motor. Yeah. So it was.
You probably had like $2,000.
$1,600.
Yeah, and he went out there and beat cars that were 6 or 7. So that's important.
I never had that.
Your first, and I'm going to take it a little bit back, and I'm not thrashing on the Austin, but your first U-Car win was in old Hi-Ho Silver, right?
It was, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was there that night.
You got a Shenandoah win before that or something.
No,
I
never had a U-Car win.
No, so I ran. So when I started doing the U-Car,
I was like, what?
Dude, I was there that night, and you did and that was a quote-unquote subpar car compared to some of the others because Bud had just bought it. Y'all had just fixed a bunch of shit on it.
It was totaled.
It was destroyed.
It was destroyed a week, like the Monday of
That's
race
the
week.
modern day Jimmy Parker car.
And he didn't do any motor work or anything. And
that motor is like 47 years old.
6 days later.
Yeah. I mean, granted,
you did cool too.
Inverted to the pole and just had to, just drive.
You muscle
grab the wings.
Rolled it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, that was my first U-Car win.
I know.
But my sample said before, I was just too young.
I was in the stands last.
And honestly, like Mike, racing. If I didn't have to race against him, I probably would have won a handful, 5, 10,
I think a lot of us
5,
would
8, 10 races.
I agree.
I mean, when I started that, I was 14. 14 to 16 was the age range I was in when I was racing that the first time.
And Mike
I probably finished. And Mike was 26 or something. I think he's like 10 years older than me, give or take. He had been running a lot at that point,
right?
And I mean, we had 30 plus car fields, and they inverted off points, and we were in the top whatever in points, so we were starting 15th, 18th, 20th every week.
Right.
That was
a way different time than it is now. Right.
You're like, hey, you're 15 years old. You've been doing this like a month.
You better get in there and do it.
You're
beforehand,
you're starting 20th.
You were the dragster stuff, so it was a lot different.
You're going to start 20th against
It's funny you say that because my first race I was in was, gosh, man, there was like 60 cars. It was the Enduros.
Yeah.
And then, like my 7th race ever, I ended up winning.
Yeah.
It was the last Enduro race ever. But there was like 50 or 48. It was almost 50 cars.
Yeah.
I won that damn thing, man. And it was like, I started like, I don't know, 5th or 7th or something. Because back then you did literally drew out of a bag of chips for your whole starting position.
Yeah.
So I started whatever. I led some of it and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of races I've led and lost, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, like what? But as far as like natural talent, I think there's very few people that I know of that just have it. I mean, hell, man, it's 2020. When did you start, Austin? 07 or 06?
oval racing? Or just
Yeah, it's Southside.
09?
You did junior
09, okay.
dragsters for a while. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get
He did
to
all
in a
that.
second.
I did junior dragsters from like 04.
I remember when you came
Yeah.
into Southside.
I started doing that
because
when I was like 11, getting ready to turn 12.
I remember
did that
you
for
and your
4
name and all that stuff and
Yeah.
the positivity and Ethan. Like obviously he's been my brother forever, but there's
Yeah.
so many things that I saw you guys do. As me as a fan of you too,
Yeah.
more natural talent than I've ever had. I've been fortunate to win some races, but you guys just go out there and just do shit with subpar things that I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Well,
holy
thank you.
crap.
Well, no, that's why
it's-
another thing too is I don't know Austin that well, but I've always been a big fan, so I was excited to get him here on that notion too, just because we know each other pretty well. We talk all the time at parties, but we don't like hang out outside of parties
True,
or outside of this
outside of the
podcast.
racetrack. Yeah.
Not that I don't want to. I'm just saying we don't.
Yeah.
We're both busy, and you're always like
Well, now you
at Sonoma racing. You know, what I mean,
Austin's
like,
always
it's
working at
insane.
Woodfin, dude. He's got a
That
lot
too,
of propane shit
yeah. I
to
mean,
do.
he's got
Yeah.
a lot of
This
work
thing-
and a lot of yeah.
4 months
Traveling.
of crazy and then 4 months of going racing and screwing off.
And what is a season like that for? Is it off season right now?
No. Well, COVID is kind of derailed everything. It's because every state has a different level of
Oh,
closures
yeah.
and what you can and can't do.
Oh, yeah.
But normally, in a pre-COVID world, our first race would have been Super Bowl weekend, which
February,
kind of
yeah.
stinks.
Yeah.
Road Atlanta is where we start every year.
Are they already delayed for this year? Or
Upcoming year so
We
far,
don't know yet.
everything's on track. And we would run from, say, so it's like February 10th or 15th or something like that. And the last race we would do would be this upcoming, a week from now, December 3rd,
Holy
4th,
crap,
something like
it's a
that.
long
But,
season.
you're not racing every week. I mean, there's
Yeah,
probably,
it's
we
like
probably
once
run,
a month or something,
we
right?
probably run 10 or 12 races or something like that.
You have to
But
like take a
there's
plane
a
or
lot
a
of
train
travel,
to
a lot
get
of
to it.
preparation. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Austin
Yeah.
will leave work on a Thursday or a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hop on a plane.
Yeah.
He's
He's like,
there
I'm going
for-
to Abu Dhabi for a
Very
race.
rarely. So,
I'll call Austin at
Look.
work. I'm like, hey man, what you doing? He's like, I'm about to get on a plane, dude. I gotta go.
yeah,
I'm like,
man.
whoa.
I can't complain because I get to work on the cars and race and do all that stuff. But normally, me being the younger, low on the totem pole guy,
Right.
if we go to Daytona, if we have 8 people going, 5 of them are flying, and I'm one of the lucky truck
the
driver
rider.
hauler candidates. You know?
He's a rider.
Yeah. So
Well-
the only time I fly into the races or get to is when I was trying to do Southside and that together, and there would be
Oh.
scheduling conflicts.
I remember that.
That happened
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
times
He
where
took his
I'd
bag
You're
from
doing
the
Grand
track.
Stock
race-
Championship.
Yeah, in 2017, I won a race on Friday night,
In the
left
yellow
there,
car.
Never got to wash that
drove
suit.
home, took a shower, like swapped bags around, drove straight to, got dropped off at the
Yeah.
airport at Richmond at like 3 a.m, and then caught a plane to Nashville, or to Daytona, or to different places.
Rode Atlanta and Sonoma this year. Gosh, man.
Yes, yeah.
Infineon.
so
How
cool,
cool.
though.
Because you
That
played
was-
it in video games. You played
Sonoma,
it in iRacing.
that's the coolest thing I've done.
That's
Track
actually
I've
one of
been
the
on.
coolest ones.
Yeah, I mean, I know like
Daytona.
Daytona. You think like Daytona's more prestigious in the motorsports world?
No,
And-
no,
and
I don't
it
personally
I want
think
the
so.
road
I-
courses.
It
Yeah.
is.
I don't
and-
care about
and
Daytona
it
at
is.
all.
And we did the road course Daytona,
cool.
like they do
Oh,
the
that's what I
Rolex.
care about,
but
yeah.
but it's
Daytona
Infineon,
track.
Sears
I don't
Point,
care.
whatever.
Daytona. I mean, Daytona to me is probably one of the most boring tracks.
Yeah,
And you've done that one quite a few times.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to say you're at if you haven't been on the track, it's cool to be like, damn, I'm riding around at Daytona.
Post your cover
And
photo,
you get
Daytona,
on,
and
yeah,
shit
you get on that
back,
super
you know?
high banking,
Gotta
and the
do
first
it.
couple laps, you're like, this is
is
I'm about to
neat,
flip
right.
over. This is sketchy.
Yeah, I'm fucking driving at Daytona.
But
boys.
after that,
You
you're
know,
like,
I
this
made
is
it.
really. I mean, this track is made for something that goes a lot.
Austin has a
faster.
Wally. What's a Wally?
That is the trophy that you get when you win an NHRA national event.
Oh, dang. Jennifer Allen's a.
Is that as a
Austin has
junior
Wally.
dragster?
Yes, yeah.
Tell us about that a little
those
bit.
things are
'Cause I want to get into
disgusting,
it.
I've heard.
2007, I think.
You said
Yeah.
you did that from 14 until what? 2014, 14 years old. I can't remember. It was something like
So
that.
I started
so many
racing.
young
I started
Austins.
racing. It was like 2004 or something like that. I started racing
Okay.
juniors when I was like 11, and then I quit right when the U car was finished being built. I think we sold
Oh,
all the
cool.
junior dragster stuff at the end of 2008, and then transitioned right into the oval track stuff. So I
But
did like
obviously you were pretty
5
good
years.
at it, huh?
Yeah, but
yeah. Championships.
It's like, you know,
we won track championships at
National
Richmond.
championship.
no big deal.
We won like Super Chevy Show one year at Dinwiddie.
That's like a car show, isn't it?
But they have a race too.
All right.
okay.
Well, all right. Well, you already said you prefer the
Yeah.
road course racing over circle track or dragster.
Drags last place. And
Good for you.
well, the
Straight
community
liners.
it's fun. The community it
There's
probably
a certain respect for that
it
stuff.
probably has the
without a
best
doubt.
community
Right.
in the motorsports
Really?
world because you race a car for 10 seconds and you sit around for 3 hours.
And you chat.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of
It's like Dominion where you
a lot of
practice for 10 minutes
barbecuing.
and you sit around
it's
for
like
9
Dominion.
hours.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
we doing here?
It's a lot of it'd be like if we're all hanging out at Bud's Halloween party and then every 2 hours are like, hey, y'all are up, let's go. And then
Yeah,
you go
Mike
race
Chapman and Cameron
Let's do a
Rudd
run race out
You
there.
go run race, and then
Run
we
race
all,
in the street with a
and then we all bet
T-Rex
$10 on it.
That's fun
and then,
shit,
And then
yeah.
Mike wins or lose, whatever, and then we make fun
Mike
of him.
always wins.
And then
No, Mike can lose. He can
and then
lose.
we, sit
Mike
around,
Chapman.
wait 3 hours to do it again. So there's a lot of barbecuing, a lot of little
Right.
kids running around.
BS,
It's more of a
man.
family
Oriented.
car show thing, and then there happens to be a race going on over there. So, and being that I don't have to take my car and try to run it into you at any point, there's never a whole lot of
Man, I love that
animosity
part, though.
between anybody. I mean, we may compete each other. We both want to win some money, and
But you can't wreck anybody. You can't take it into your own hands.
you can't really
Well, you can, but
screw
not.
someone, or you can't play game. You can't. It's
But it's still
if
you
you
like
lose,
it the
it's
least
pretty
amount.
much
though.
like you just lost. It's your fault.
As far as
you know?
competitiveness, you like
Yeah.
it the least amount though.
Yeah. Because
What-
you go to Southside Speedway and you're like, I hate that whole team and all those people, and they hate you, and it's just the whole,
Yeah, well,
We don't hate
go to the
anybody
fucking
around here.
Dominion.
From
It's
the
a lot
time
worse.
from the time you
Yeah.
roll the car to trailer until the time it goes on the trailer, that 4-hour, 5-hour window, you're in a borderline bad mood the whole time. You're serious about what's going on. You're not talking to those people.
Right.
Everybody's in the huddle. You know what I mean? It's
And then
much
after
more.
you get that W though, and you're
And
like,
Can I
okay,
defend?
cool.
Can I
we're
defend
drag
the
racing
haters
the
for a
whole
second?
time. It's fun.
Can I defend the haters for
Sure.
a second? That only happens for people like you that win all the fucking races. Okay, nobody hates the guy that's running 10.
Hey
every
Austin,
week.
when you win 10 out of 12, and you probably could have won 11 or 12 out of 12, and you did it from the outside a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Grand Stock running 10th every week, nobody looked at me like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hey, man, you finished fourth one night. It was cool.
One night, yeah, I did actually.
You did. It was in a
Yeah.
street stock with a full cage. It was literally
Well,
that.
Well, there
We
was
didn't
9
change anything.
cars that wrecked out early on. But
Lies.
That's
a lie.
There was 6 cars that wrecked out.
Dude, if
Right.
there's anybody
It's
else
like
that could
third
run that
lap.
hunk of shit ass car, no offense.
20 of them started, and you finished fourth. So
It was
he literally finished
7
fourth
that
out of
ended, but yeah, I'll take
13
it.
or 14 that night in a
was
street
like,
stock with a full cage
It
in
was
it.
when
Hoosiers.
I remember
It
you
was
running.
the-
I was
the
spotting
fan-
for Lane.
The
Yeah,
fan
Lane was the
broke,
79,
or Cameron Walker's fan broke all over the place. He only had 3 blades on his
Cameron
Somebody
Walker,
dumped
that
a bunch
guy.
of
I'm glad he
antifreeze.
Dan
quit racing.
Rogers spun out. Everybody totaled their shit.
Yeah,
It was a big wreck.
everybody went to 3 and 4 and piled
Jesus
it up.
Yeah.
Christ.
So-
Cameron Walker, I'm glad he
It was
quit
big.
life.
Did he? I don't know. He's maybe
I haven't seen him in forever on
I
Facebook.
saw-
He
I
didn't
saw-
quit.
he was-
Southside Speedway was closed, dude.
He was
Well,
at the, I saw
they
him
closed because of Cameron Walker.
2018 maybe out there, but
Man,
drag racing's definitely third on the list of those 3. But I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. But back to the Wally thing, 2007, they do a national championship race, if you will. They do one for the eastern half, this side of Mississippi and that side, just for
Really?
travel purposes.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a co-national championship thing.
Yeah.
So we're on the Eastern Conference, obviously. So it's in
Yeah,
Bristol, Tennessee. They have a drag strip right across the street from the oval track there, and we were able to win that national championship back then. So the trophy you get, it's like a gold
So
looking
you
guy.
won, but you only won half the country.
Right. So there's
Wow.
one other person who I didn't.
What a wiener.
There's one other person that I didn't get a chance to beat, I guess. But no, it
They should line them up too, though. That'd be fun.
yeah,
That'd be a
and
lot of
that's
travel
broken, and that's
expenses
broken
shit.
apart by age groups too. So it wasn't like I was the only guy who won one that day. They have because that's I
The
think
2 years younger guy.
they have an 8-9, a 10 and 11, a 12 to 14.
You won your age bracket then.
Yeah, I won the 12 to 14 or whatever that was.
That matters big time.
Oh yeah, if you got
If
a
you're
9-year-old racing against a 17-year-old.
yeah, if you're 21 racing against a 33-year-old, I don't want to hear any age shit.
Yeah, right.
But if
right.
you're 14 racing against a 7-year-old,
yeah,
that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
age groups matter a lot, and you won your age group.
yeah.
So that's all
So-
that matters in my opinion.
Yep.
It's
So,
impressive. I didn't know that about you. I knew that
Yeah.
you. I've seen like I said, I'm a fan, but I don't know you that well.
Sure.
I was never like. I didn't even know you back when you were doing the junior dragster stuff.
No,
so
no.
I
I didn't know any of the oval track people at all, really.
Well, then I
I
didn't even
just
know
knew
you
Bud.
when you. Yeah, I didn't even know you when you first
Yeah.
started doing oval track. So the junior dragster stuff, I just see on your Facebook profile pictures,
Yeah.
old stories, memories, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've always known that you did it, but you don't obviously
Yeah.
still do anything like that. So
No.
I just always wondered what got you out of it, or what
It's
you
just
liked about it more or less than. But you
Yeah.
say you put it in third.
well, my dad's always been an oval track guy
Yeah.
from forever.
He used to
From
race
forever.
and stuff.
Yeah.
He's always been a part of that game.
I wish he would still drive every now and then, but
Why
yeah.
won't he?
I don't know. I think he's just
He's still got it.
sure he does. I mean, I've only actually as like
Has
an
he ever
adult-
practiced one of your cars or anything?
not
Sorry to
one of
interrupt
not
you.
one of mine. He practiced. We took the road course, the BMW, just as a mechanical shakedown after I think it had blown up or something. Before we took it all the way to Atlanta or Daytona or something like that, we just wanted somewhere we could drive it around, just make sure nothing was going to fall off of it.
Yeah.
So he took it Southside Speedway, and me and him each made probably 15 laps or so, and I think he actually was a little faster than I was on a couple of them. Yeah. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. I don't
doesn't have the ambition to do it.
No, I don't really think he's interested in.
Give me one.
He's real competitive, so I don't think he's really interested in just riding around without a goal or purpose, like just practicing
to
a car.
Win. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, hey, we're gonna go on a practice day. You want to take some laps in my car? It's like, not really. I don't. Just driving around or going fast.
How
or
are you
something.
supposed to win the race though in competitive landscape?
I also think that he doesn't want to race for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, right. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Donnie knows he can still. I've talked to him recently about this. Actually,
he
knows he can still wheel the thing. But
he can drive really good for like 15, 20 minutes.
He's like,
Bud can too. Bud practically.
Bud is nasty on a U-car.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, do you want to? I mean, I don't know.
Do they even want to do it? Yeah,
maybe we'll get to a point when we get a little bit older, but like, you get to a point where it's like the fun doesn't outweigh whatever anxiety you may have about it before, during, or after. Are you worried about getting hurt, or just?
No.
After a while, some people like competing, but they don't necessarily like to go really fast.
Well, here's
it's like football player. Like I'm sure like Brett Favre would love to go out there and play. Like he still is like,
throw
man,
a 70-yard touchdown.
I love playing.
He'd much rather throw that practice pass.
Like, I'm not like trying to get hit. I'm not trying to have something like I'm not trying to back this thing in the wall and deal with that repercussion. So it's like, does the fun I get out of saying I could potentially win outweigh how bad I'm going to feel when if something goes wrong?
I think you eventually get to the point where like, hey, you were a driver at one point. I mean, and one day you're like, okay, cool. I'm just going to be an owner and let other people do the work for me.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'll just own some stuff, work on it.
We all know we can
win both ways, right?
Like, I could jump in this champ car next weekend. I mean, we're racing at 130 plus miles an hour. Like
next week.
Actually, yeah. Like, I could run off in the grass. I think I could dig in and flip.
Right.
And I could busty walls.
God. Let's hope
we all know the risks.
Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Shout out Torp Chassis.
You don't think about them until Austin just brought.
When you're younger, it's just
we don't think about them.
The winning is like 98% of it, and that's like, well, that could happen. I'm just put my seatbelts tight, and then there you go. That's the end of it.
Maybe a good Torp chassis underneath that thing.
As you get closer to the end of your career, I think that starts to become more of.
It's a more evident thing. You're right. Yeah.
Well. If we're going to play that balance scale, here's a little bit. I'll try to make it quick.
Sure.
Have you ever? You said you spotted for Lane Janisic.
Yeah.
Have you? How invested have you been? No, it's Janisic. How invested have you been in somebody else's setup, car, and results? Obviously, as a spotter, you're very well invested. Yeah. I know it's been the same way. You know this from spotting and helping me a couple times when I was in Grand Stock for me. And the year that I took off street stock for you, we didn't have any. My bad. We didn't have any radios, but it almost made it more intense because I just had to like sit there and scream like a maniac from the infield. Not that you could see it, but just I was doing it anyway.
Yeah. We didn't have radios. When you're a fan, in your Grand Stock season, we didn't have radios.
Well, just kind of like back in the day when we were kids, or even now. When you watch somebody race, you get worse butterflies than when you race.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. That's why I said the spotting thing was tough because it's like this is happening so fast, and I'm not in control of it. And
I said I'd try to make it quick. I didn't. Yeah, but here's my point: is do you think that people that sometimes own the cars or build the cars and stuff like that don't drive them? It's not necessarily because they don't think that they can drive them anymore or because they're afraid. It's because they literally get more out of watching spotting
their production do work.
Watching their production do work, and it's almost more of a a adrenaline rush watching because I know that it is for me because I'm watching somebody like you or Alex or anybody that I care about race, dude. My legs are shaking. I'm sweating to death.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm in the car and I'm about to take the green flag, I literally have like a thing where I just say like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's easy. That's the easy part.
I
agree.
Like this is the reason why I'm in this seat is people trust me to do it. I don't care about any of this shit.
Yep. Yeah,
when I'm up in the stands, I can't
get
control.
Yourself in that mindset too.
When I'm up in the stands, I can't control anything. Dude, I'm
it's a control thing, man. I think all three of us would agree to that. It's a control thing. Like,
but why would these people that, you know what I mean, like they put themselves in this position?
Yeah.
I think they get to the point where they feel like it's important. Like Bud is a great example because he drove for a long, long time. He was successful. He did, and he still got it. But he's now to the point where he's like, man, I'd rather kick people's asses on the paper. and then let my drivers do the work for me.
I totally understand that.
And he picks good people,
Of course.
Obviously, look at you guys.
Yeah.
Of course.
And my dad's the same way. I mean, I'm sure that
you think
he
about
gets
that
much
dynamic.
more of a kick out of
watching
me win a race
do it.
than him doing it himself.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I'm not saying
and
it's
for
an
some
age
people,
thing. I think it's a timing thing. I think that there's a
It
passing
gets to a
of the
point
torch.
when it's almost like boring doing it yourself, but watching somebody you really love doing it is even better.
Yeah. I mean, like when we first sold that car, and then Lane was running it.
Bud says I get way more anxious watching my stuff than driving my stuff, and I totally agree.
That's
I think
a control thing because if
that's
he's
what I'm
driving
saying.
it, he has got a good feeling it's going to come back the way he wants it to.
Well, here's my
If he's
point.
not,
I almost feel like when
It
his
could go
car
wrong.
wins, he almost gets a higher high.
there's
than the
no
driver.
doubt. Because
Maybe.
Bud, so my car is like
I get a
Bud's-
high when
think
I
it
drive
comes from
Bud
a
Allen's car and I win, dude.
mechanically inclined point of
top
view
the
anyway.
world.
there's no doubt.
Like
And
me,
my
I'm
car
not a
is-
mechanic, so
my
like,
car for the most part is a Bud Allen car.
sure.
I did the majority of the work on it, but he has done a lot of work on it too with me. And like,
Yeah.
Of course.
dude, we
Well,
got
and-
there.
and-
We went a
and,
race with his stuff, and he's like fired up more than I get out and I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that was
Yeah.
so great. And he's like,
When he is too.
and he's like
Well-
happy and he's hugging and he's high
Well,
fiving.
he doesn't own the car. That's what I'm saying. You take that extra sense of he
Yeah.
owns the car into it, and then me or you,
Right.
or
Yeah.
you are driving it, or anybody's driving
Yeah.
it, Chapman, anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like when that car wins the race, when you own it, when you don't own it and you drive it,
Yeah.
man, is it awesome. But when you own it and it doesn't matter who's driving it, man, is it awesome.
Yeah,
I've only felt that.
Yeah, because the variable, it's the car is what's consistent, and that's what you control. You know.
Yeah, I've only felt this feeling one time in my life. Go ahead, Alex.
Henry
Hey, River.
Senior says, "Great show, guys. Tuned in late. Ask Austin about some of his spotter combos, which I think you have asked some of those." Bud
Well,
said
we
it is
can
a
do.
way higher high when my car wins with somebody else driving.
Sure.
So
Sure,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
and like for me,
That's
like on the
huge.
flip side of that, I'm not very mechanically inclined at all. I think anybody would.
you're
tell
just
you
that guy that grips that wheel
Well,
and does
me and
work.
you. Well,
I don't mind
He's
putting
like,
in
"I'll
time
do
and
it."
effort. It's just
No, you
you're
put
gonna
the
watch
effort
me. You're
in.
gonna watch me struggle with some
it's
tools
not even
over
say
there
that.
for a
No,
while.
it's not
But
even
your
say
mind
that.
works better doing the work.
So that
Yeah.
doesn't like I don't get the same thrill out of that. Like hell
You
yeah,
don't even
like
need to say that
I
to
put
Austin,
the
'cause you've
the
never been
struts
in
on
that
that.
position.
I put the control arms on that car right there, and it won. Like okay, yeah.
Well, damn, I didn't know you did that. That's tight. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
we're looking at.
yeah.
A
Let's not
Rizzo's
talk
car.
about control arms.
So-
dude. That's a sore subject. Okay?
Well, I'm with you, Austin.
But as a driver standpoint, I get obviously that's my
Right.
thing. That's like what my craft.
That's
or
the only
whatever.
thing-
It's like when I drive the car and win. It's like just like Bud gets that kick of like 7 different people drove this car and 5 of them won in it, and all of them did great. It's
True
the car.
story.
Like
True story.
the drivers are good, but it's the car. Where like for me, it's like I drove 7 different cars and I won in 5 of them.
Right.
It's me.
I know that.
You
Well, yeah, I
so
hear you.
that's
But
kinda-
hear me out on this part, because me and you, I only, other than one time,
Yeah.
me and you, because we're the drivers and we've never owned anything cool.
Right.
I've never. We don't even know that feeling.
Austin
all
did
we
for
know
a
is.
split season.
I owned a car.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you
I
owned
mean,
that, or
I
That's
financially,
car.
again, back
The
to
most
the
badass
non-mechanical part.
Yeah.
I owned it. I paid for everything on the car, but and
You were there for
but-
the work. I was there one night when you were
Yeah,
doing
no,
it.
I
like-
worked on it, but I mean, I was
Yeah.
here's what we're going to do. Okay, cool. How do I do that? All right, do this. Yeah, it wasn't like a hey
Right.
bud, I'm going
But
to come
you
over
never
there
had,
and use
other
your
than that,
tools
okay,
to.
Right.
maybe
No.
this is the best question. That
He
night
was-
that Chapman was driving it for you, how hyped up were you for the?
I think he
results
was
of that
second that
race?
night. Yeah, he was coming from the
I was
back.
actually, I was pretty nervous.
You were nervous
Yeah.
and you were excited,
Dude.
No,
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Me and you don't know that feeling. The only
Yeah,
one time
yeah.
that I can even relate to this feeling is when Alex had his own car and had my motor in it.
Oh, I won the championship for the last 2 races.
That
night.
was-
Which
Oh
there's no
my
way
God.
he
You
can.
blew up the
there's
tree
no
stock.
way he can even.
With 3 to
wreck-
go.
Yeah, there's no way he can wreck my motor unless he blows it up, which wouldn't be his fault.
Dude,
so I was
yeah.
saying I had
Did
like
you just not race, or did you have something else?
He was
throw in
off
your-
that
I was
season.
off that season.
He was just
I
taking a
just
break.
moved into the house
Yep.
and I couldn't afford
Yep.
it. So Alex, the end of the season,
Blew up.
he blew up his motor and he put my motor that was just sitting next to my shed.
I still had my
into his
rear
car.
in it. Ugh, God.
Well, we switched rears too, but either way.
That was the last race of the season.
And that was another thing too, is I watched him race with my motor, and it was like the first time that I'd ever gotten to experience, because me and you don't really get to experience this. 'Cause,
with your shit in the car.
yeah, you've never really no offense,
Something
you never
that you
owned too many
have.
That's
cars.
the only time I
I've
ever
owned-
watched anything I
Right.
owned go around.
Yeah, the only time I've owned cars is they were shit boxes. So me and you never get to experience
Yeah.
anybody else in our car doing well.
Sure. Yeah.
I had a shit box with a decent motor. I gave the motor to Alex, and
Yeah.
he did well in it. And dude, it was the most like the most hyped up feeling I'd ever had.
I got a story about that.
I wasn't like, I mean, I guess I was the crew chief. We didn't have spotters or anything, dude. I was just sitting.
We had nothing.
Yeah, we had nothing.
I borrowed your motor. I didn't tighten the distributor down enough. I was leading the race.
I
got taken out by a fucking lapper. And
lap
the
car
timing was off
in
the race anyway.
Knocked the whole distributor.
Yeah.
And it ended up messing me all up. Well, then the last race of the season, like his cam or whatever the hell he had in that
Well, no, that, but we switched
worked
the
better
rear.
with his rear, so we ended up swapping his rear to my...
We were both busy. I had to take out the rear by myself in my mom's garage. I was like 20.
To bring it
in
over
my mom's
and
garage,
me
and he had to put it back into his car by himself.
Yeah.
Like night
It was
before
just
the
a big
race,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he won the following race after he
A lot
lost
of
that race.
effort into that.
You lost that race to the distributor thing, and then the following race,
Won that
after
bitch.
all that, won that
Yep.
one, and it was just like I said, one of the greatest feelings, even though I wouldn't
Yeah, it was all your stuff.
contributed. Yeah, I wouldn't super contribute. It wasn't my car, but it was my powertrain, essentially.
Right.
And it was the closest feeling that I'd ever gotten to feeling like somebody like Bud Allen
Sure.
or anybody, not to mention he's spotting, crew chiefing, setting up the car, and I'm literally just sitting in the seat. Alex was crew chiefing his own car, driving everything. I literally just gave him a motor and transmission, not even motor and rear end.
Yeah.
We won that one, though. It was good.
Yeah, but still.
And hell, the last
it felt,
race of
Was
the
my
season,
dad helping you guys
it felt
out
just as
Not
good.
yet.
Not yet.
He
Not
was
yet.
helping Ryan Paul.
2015. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
In 2014, it's helping
he
Ryan.
spreads the
We
wealth.
know, Donnie. We know.
Oh,
we
Donnie.
love you, though.
Come on, Donnie.
Well, it was a tight race.
I
They
know
like
y'all
went
linked
in the
up at
last
some
night.
point, though. I
In
just couldn't remember
2015,
I just can't remember the timeline.
In 2014, we were on our own. 2015,
Yeah, of
that's
course.
when Donnie was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can give you some points.
He wasn't like
Like,
going
cool.
against us or anything. I wasn't saying that. I was just making a joke.
I know.
But
Yeah.
24. So that last race of the season, 2014, man, we I had Ethan stuff in there still, and it was good. We
But that was the
qualified up
closest
front.
thing I'd ever been to like
We-
having an owner feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
But so the night
that's
that I
exciting,
won
man.
with Ethan's stuff in there, Brian Smith that's night he destroyed Ryan Paul's shit.
We smoked him.
Right,
That was
destroyed
crazy.
him. I mean, we were faster anyway, but we
Still, you don't want to win one like that, though.
No, I said that
Yeah.
in Victory Lane. I said I do not want to win like that. I don't want to do that. So the last night, I had Ethan's stuff in there still. Ryan borrowed here.
He
bought
like
or
Frankenstein
borrowed.
his dad's car.
He
and
did
put it together
Frankenstein.
or
He put
something.
all his stuff in his dad's car. And He
Yeah.
was fast.
Yeah.
We were a little bit faster. I got to his bumper. I never hit him. Ryan and
You
I
still
will
have those
argue to
videos?
this day. I've got the videos. Ryan and I we will argue to this
There's
day.
no argument to this video.
There's no
Somebody
argument.
He
Tag
spin
Ryan
out in front
Paul.
of, he spin out in front of you?
He spun out in
Pretty
front
much.
of me. He had a little bit right
You
foot.
touched him.
I didn't touch him. Never did. It was a
Well,
gap.
even that, like
There's no video.
he spun out.
He spun.
Yeah.
He was just he pulled an Ethan Ayers. Ethan, you done it before. But
went
he
in
came
hot.
out of turn 4, dude. And he was nasty on that thing. It was like, bop, 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 you know, and he spun. I never hit him.
Yeah.
I was really close, but
I've been there.
they put us both at the back because they said I hit him, and whatever, it's fine. I had to finish like 5th or better that night. I ended up just riding 4th, and got the championship. Did a nasty burnout with Ethan's stuff. That was- and I've got that on
Blew my
video.
motor
And if
out
I
there.
could share that on that big screen, it was cool.
I wish I had it.
Man, I've got it on my phone, but yeah, that was my first championship, dude. That was cool. There's
That was
nothing.
cool.
There's nothing mad. I mean, I'm
That
like
was the
4
first. That was the first
championships in.
family's
That's cool.
championship.
Yeah, it was that, and
And I
then it
did
was,
call it right
You've
before
won,
that
y'all
season
won
started.
4. You've won.
I've won 4. He's won 2.
So you got the street stock.
I've
and
got
then- and then-
2014,
three,
2015 street
yeah, you
stock.
got
I've got
2 and 2.
2017.
Oh, that's right, because you got tossed for like hood hinges or something.
Yeah, I
Something
won
dumb.
because he didn't. Right? Like,
yeah.
It would have been.
Well, he would have won technically anyway.
I didn't race
Fair
the
enough.
last race of the season because of that, but
He
I guess if
still
y'all each
won.
throw
It would have
one,
all
y'all
gone
each,
into
y'all
the
each
last-
threw one out, and then
right, and I still won by 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. I had a same like you. I had a power
Although he won
steering.
more races than I did, all that shit.
Yeah, I
right?
had a power steering pump brake at the beginning of the year. Alex finished either first or second every race. I finished like 5th.
Shit, had
8th,
Ethan not
yeah.
taken Wayborn Doney out that one race, and I ended up
Oh,
winning,
man.
and like
Yeah, yeah.
because
Well,
I got taken.
here's
There's
another
these
thing to
different
that.
things, you know.
Here's another thing to that is I finished second that night. They put me at the tail end of the
Last
lap.
place points. That was the night, you know.
That was the night that fucked me is because I
Or
technically
the first
finished
race of
second
the
that
season,
night.
his power steering pump went out.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
me and Wayne wrecked together. Alex came by to win the race somehow.
Turn
And
4.
I
Ethan-
was spinning back around and finished second. They
Yeah.
said, no, we're putting you at the tail of the lap. Just
For
you, not
dumping the
Wayne.
guy,
Yeah,
right.
for dumping the guy on the last lap.
Oh,
because he fucked me.
It's like
you
they
know?
would have never done this to Earnhardt Sr.
They wouldn't have.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and then
you know,
Yeah.
and I Matt Kenseth my way to a championship in 2017 in new cars with no wins.
well, that's the
17?
way it happens. That way Matt Kenseth
2017, I
did
won the U car championship with 0 wins.
It happened.
Kenseth won, yeah, with no championships.
Are you going to need more drink?
Yeah, I'm gonna need something more than.
He's gonna need a bottle of water or something. And then
big
this
glass
year
of milk.
Dominion
I'll go get
Championship.
you
That was
something.
cool.
Do you want milk?
Anything's fine. Bottle of water or something. I mean,
Dude,
it's gonna
you
be
give me a
really bad.
fucking-
It's gonna be really bad no matter what.
Yeah.
Just give him a bottle of hot
I
sauce.
literally
man.
made it to here.
All right, what else
Are
we
you
got?
coming back? No. You coming back sometime?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, you want to go ahead and cut it now and just do the hot sauce?
No, we can do. Oh,
They
what
gotta
the
do that
fuck
on
is
camera.
Weaver Valley.
Who?
To who?
Weaver Valley Speedway. You know what I'm talking about. This
No.
fake racetrack or whatever.
Like on iRacing or something?
No, it's on Facebook.
What?
I don't
Weaver
know.
Valley Speedway. It's got this guy,
Is it like
Gage
a,
Martinez.
like a
that-
meme thing? Like they post funny
Kind
stuff?
of.
Hot sauces? We
It-
don't know that.
How do you not know what I'm talking about, Austin?
I really don't know.
He drives real tracks, not fake ass shit, dude.
Weaver Valley Speedway?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
like a
champion.
Jesse Jones shares it all the time. Like, all right,
It's like
we'll skip over it.
The Fred's Frog Farm thing.
Yeah, it's like it's
The
like,
green number 7?
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
what do you call it? A troll page or like a
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it.
There's 10 champions right here.
We got a bunch of
sitting here doing
videos.
math.
Well, I got,
We're gonna call it 4.
we'll say 4, and then 2 national
Ooh,
championships.
shit! Wait a minute. Now let's go there.
Yeah,
So 6. So you got 6-time champion,
I guess, yeah.
Hey, I'm 4. Ethan's 2.
That's 12, right?
12-time champions in this
sick
room,
ass
dude.
Yeah.
It's like almost as much as Jimmy Johnson or something.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jr.
Tim
or
Johnson
something.
won like 13
But-
in
but
one
te-
year.
but-
Dale Jr.'s a
But
chump.
technically, I've won 3.
We-
2012, 2014,
Should
2017.
technically
Technically, right. But
Yeah.
Do you
Junior
feel honored to be
dragsters-
the episode 43, aka?
Oh, the GOAT
You're the
episode.
Bubba Wallace guy?
We'll put this up in front.
No, that's who is that now? That's going to be the
That's Richard Petty, baby, episode
EJ.
43.
no, yeah, Eric Jones. That's
Fucking
it's
Eric
the
Jones.
Eric Jones podcast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
he's number 4/3.
Yeah. Bubba's driving for Jumpman.
2311 Jumpman.
Yes.
Yeah.
20,
Michael
22
Jordan.
Jump Street.
Jump, man.
Yep, the Jumpman.
Is that racist?
No.
Always.
I'm just
oh,
kidding.
wait.
Air Jordan. That's
Can I
what-
say
that's his
something
nickname.
out
I
loud?
was joking.
If Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan had a kid, it would look like Bubba Wallace. Just saying.
What? But
Yeah.
that might be racist. I didn't even hear what you said.
It might have been, but just look at it on Facebook.
All right.
He's got Jordan branded fire suits and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's the
freaking
real
cool,
deal.
man. It's so badass.
Denny has been sponsored by Jordan since like
That's so cool.
2010 or something.
I love that.
Or 2012. What kind of hot? You said you're a fan of Hot Ones, the show, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had the hottest one?
I had the hottest one off of like. I bought so the kit that I bought it back in January.
A kit.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, it's,
Hot
it's,
sauce kit?
well, it's
It comes
from
like
that
3 or
show. It's
something,
like
yeah,
the hot one. No, it came with like
Ooh,
6 or 8 of them.
Oh wow.
And it was like 1 through 8. So I mean, I had the hottest one off of whatever episode or season that was. But that was a year ago. So
Which one
Did you
y'all
have the
done?
last dab?
I don't even know what they were
Oh,
called.
that's
I forgot to go get them, but I brought 3 or 4 that I had left. I like
I'll
it.
go
I
with
like
y'all,
enough
though.
to where I use like most of the bottles.
Holy
Really?
shit.
Yeah.
So
He's not
okay, this is
scared.
not gonna be anything.
No, I
for
mean
him.
I'm gonna tear up and get
This
all.
guy
My
sells-
wife doesn't even
hey,
react to this
This
shit.
guy
She's
sells
Colombian.
propane, dude. You don't
Tina's
play.
not out here anymore either. She doesn't
Tina's
react to
Why'd
nothing.
why'd she leave?
The babies woke up.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of important.
Good
Children.
insurance.
It's fucking kids. I'm just.
This part's funny. Oh, God.
Don't eat that flake, dude. The flakes are 100
The
times
flakes
hotter.
are, that's like eating a paint chip, dude.
Pure,
Don't do it.
capsizing.
God, Ethan, just hit
Good
that
lord,
mic,
man! I
bro.
can smell it
Are
from
you
here.
hitting a 2A Rizzle?
Yeah, I'll hammer it.
You
yeah.
can double dip off mine. We ate Thanksgiving together.
Yeah. I'm not worried about COVID.
Well,
I should be having a mask on.
me and Austin are 6 feet apart
We're
this
at-
whole time.
Correct.
It's a very well ventilated room. We're okay.
That too.
There's fans.
Hold on, we're not ready yet, A-Rod.
You just tell me what
I guess we are. All right, let's do it.
Oh man, I still don't have anything to drink, so this is gonna be fun.
What do you need?
Oh shit, let me go get.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't drink beer.
Not be anything other than beer.
Hey, we don't have nothing. Oh, I go get an A-Rod.
There's a bottle
You
of
go
water in
take
that
this
toolbox
big-ass
right there.
fat thing. Here, I'm gonna douse Alex stuff real quick.
That's fine. What do you need to get? Inside?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
I'll get it. Just you're sitting.
Oh man.
It's inside the kitchen.
So what else you got here on your list?
So, do you want soda, water, or Gatorade?
Preferred Gatorade.
Gatorade. Is he gone? Is he
Yeah,
gone
no,
the
he
whole
heard
time?
it. He said yeah.
Okay. On the list.
Some more
So
good
now
stuff.
that we're waiting on some stuff.
But I will come back for a second one at some point if
Well,
you need more.
here's part of
really-
the problem. Here's part of the problem is this next thing of things is the laptop, which he's supposed to be bringing up, which obviously he can't.
Okay.
That's okay. Do you listen to the other podcasts though? Do you listen to? I mean, Joe
listen to
Rogan.
Joe
obviously,
Yeah, I
big-
listen to Joe Rogan from time to time.
Depending on the guest.
I just don't have a lot of patience to like sit and just.
It's kind of boring.
I listen to what I normally do is instead of listening to like a 2-hour podcast, like Rogan's cool because they have the JRE clips page.
Oh yes.
Or like Dale Jr. Download, he'll have like his an 8-minute clip about a specific topic.
Yeah.
I like to go through those.
Yeah.
So in a way, I watch like Cliff
Notes. The good parts.
Well, yeah, like if I got to drive from here to the house, to go home tonight, I can listen to a 13-minute video about him and Daryl Waltrip as opposed to just sitting at home and listening to 3 hours or something.
Yes.
I don't even have cable. I can't even watch unless it's a sporting event. I can't even watch TV for that long. Like I just.
It's the way it is.
I don't get into shows. I don't watch shit.
In years.
I watched the race. I watched the terrible Dallas Cowboys, and
Oh, you already put yours in there. Jesus.
Yeah, I was just waiting to.
You let it soak in. That's how much trouble.
Yeah, this is gonna be bad. All right, so what? That's what we got here.
This is the last dab. This is the hottest hot sauce from Hot Ones.
So
it's fucked up.
Is that
the big one. Okay, you want to put more on ours?
Y'all need more?
I don't think so. Are you gonna double flip yours?
Yeah,
you double flipped ours.
I don't need to make yours hurt any worse than it already does.
Yeah, Alex is double flipped. Alex is huge, dude.
Oh my god,
that's what they say about Alex.
Alex is huge, bro. That was his name back in high school. Huge.
With a Y, like Trump. Huge.
All right, let's just do it real quick. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, baby. Thanks for coming out.
How we doing?
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Go.
No, it tastes great, but
tastes like chili at first.
It does. It's painful.
There's a lot of those things in chili.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not really like competing on how long we can go without drinking, right?
You can lick the plate.
No.
Hell no, I'm not licking the plate.
I didn't get enough of my wing.
I got plenty of mine.
Awesome, man.
No, I like doing this stuff. We'll pay for this tomorrow.
Oh man. This is why I got more wings. Oh my god.
Do another one, dude.
Well, you put enough on the plate.
Oh my god. I was just going deep. You're going to 2 in a row. Oh my god. I thought you were going to step him up, Alex, you little wiener. Austin did double dab. Austin went.
So is this like a weekly or a episode thing? You normally try to do something else every time?
No.
So I'm the first guinea pig for this?
He can't do it.
Oh, it's bad. It hurts. It's fun. I'm a good sport.
So nonchalant.
Anytime I have a guest, I try to make him do it.
It's terrible.
The first time Chapman came on, I didn't make him do it.
It's hot, but it's like I've had hotter stuff than
He
this.
can't deal with this.
Oh man! All right, I got more questions for you, dude. If I can breathe through them. All right. What do you think is the hardest part about racing total? Like road course, circle track, the hiccups. What is the hardest part about all of it? The heat, the talent, the braking.
All right. So physically,
Oh my god. I'm expecting him to answer a question right now. Are you okay?
He's doing great.
How are you doing?
no, I'm hurting, but I'm okay.
He's good, dude. Austin Dodge, a champ.
The hardest.
Whew, he's good at it.
He dipped it again.
Physically, the heat.
Yeah.
We run a cool box. Damn, it's hot.
He's like, the heat's the hardest. Damn it.
Yeah, the hardest part is racing after eating hot sauce.
Okay. And the diarrhea. Sorry, that's disgusting.
tomorrow.
Sorry. You got any grandparents watching this or anything?
No,
Okay.
they went to sleep like 3 hours ago.
Well, tomorrow on YouTube, it'll still be up.
So yeah, I mean the heat. If you're running, like 2 hours at somewhere like Daytona in the middle of July or something, it's terrible. But like specifically to like a single thing, and I'm not a pro at it by any means, but I can do it good enough to get by. In the road course racing, is having to heel toe downshift
Ooh.
and rev match your downshifts to really get the car to the next level. And I'm not like those old school Ricky Rudd videos. Like I'm not that good. But
Yeah, me neither.
But you watch them.
I haven't done it yet, so I'm not that good.
yeah, it's really important if you're trying to break.
Alex didn't sit down because you'd be able to hear him huffing and
I've done
puffing.
this before, then it's like, whew,
I'm still
I
that
forgot.
bad. It's so bad.
Sorry,
If you're braking really hard in a straight line, it's not as important.
Jill Dyson Gerard is still watching.
But if you're braking or having to downshift at a spot where you're going through a turn, when you go from fourth to third, if you don't rev match and you let the clutch out when
It'll knock the tires off.
Yeah, it'll try to chirp the ass in around or kind of make the car. And if you're already on the edge of a high speed sweeping,
tires.
Right. If you're straight line braking,
you can lock them up. You can control it. You can let off.
Like turn one at like Watkins Glen or something. Like that. It's straight
line.
I mean, the car may kind of wheel hop and chatter a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. I need it.
Sorry, guys. I'm just.
It's bad.
Ariel's backstage dying, bro.
I'm not dying, man.
These are good though.
I can smell this shit, dude. Let's get this out of my face.
My face is what? Oh.
Austin's handling it way better than this.
Oh.
It's bad.
This breaded chicken's really helping me.
That's 2 million Scoville, by the way. The jalapeno raw is 2,000.
Yeah.
So if anybody's wondering,
some Carolina Reapers at home.
that's where we're at. What do you got in your truck? What are you working with out there?
Something's probably comparable to that. There were three more. I don't remember their names. One of them was
some Wickham tickle.
One of them was called like the zombie something.
Jill says she's still watching, and then she commented against it. It's Donnie, so I guess Donnie Gyrard is watching.
Donnie's watching on Jill's phone.
Jennifer said, "I mean, there are still 14 watchers after midnight."
That's pretty good, dude.
Is it after? Damn, it is midnight.
That's good. Usually, I've only got about 4.
How long do you normally go for?
Till 11.
About this time.
11.
Yeah.
No, till 11. Yeah, but
an hour ago.
This is much more well received than a lot of other ones, especially when I'm by myself. I'm just cussing at all my fans.
Is there a way for you to see metrics on Spotify? How many people go back and watch that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got it all. I pushed on. Dude, I got you can.
Ooh, you're still hurting. But you did put a lot more. I watched it. You guys loaded.
That wasn't that much. You doubled it. I got some United Kingdom and Singapore fans. So that's
there you go.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
It's 1% of each, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those are spillovers from the Turn Leftist podcast.
Yeah. We were talking about that before everything started. Is he was like, I told my buddy to go to Spotify and look up Turn Left Podcast. And the first thing that came up was like the most leftist podcast ever. It was like Kamala and Joe Biden
Turn
Turn
Leftist. Joe
like
Biden was wearing like a Joseph Stalin Russian get up, like communist get up.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I don't think that's very.
That's probably not my buddy's podcast.
Unique imagery there for the podcast.
Yeah, this one's hopefully no politics. Yeah. Hopefully all silliness like this. Austin, you might not know, I drank a raw egg and a beer one night on this podcast.
And a beer?
I cracked a beer, poured it into a cup, and cracked a raw egg into a cup, and I drank
into the beer. And
I didn't stir it. That'd be insane. I took the yolk full mass down the gullet.
Oh man.
Yeah. It was pretty serious. Anyway, I try to do as many crazy things as I can.
I just touched my eye with 2 million
up.
Scoville. That's not cool.
That was really dumb.
Yeah, do not go to the bathroom after this.
No.
By the way, Austin, be careful. You've seen the show Hot Ones. Mm-hmm. That was the hottest sauce from the Hot Ones.
Really?
That is the last tab. It's the hottest one, buddy.
That's getting a little bit.
I tried to.
That's getting a little bit too.
That's that championship sauce.
That's getting too commercialized there. That's watered down.
Yeah. I meant to tell you that beforehand. That is the top tier Hot Ones sauce.
Okay.
The 10th out of 10.
Well, some of those guys are.
So you've done it.
Some of those guys cry it after the second one or the third one.
Oh, dude, you handled it a lot better than I did anyway.
It still hurts though. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
My eyeball's on fire.
All three of
my
us.
eyeball is on fire.
I made my own. I took some.
I had that eye itch,
bro. Some salt, pepper, some garlic, some little bit of vinegar, and my buddy actually grows Carolina Reapers. Take a handful of those and cut the stems off of them and put them in a food processor until it purees up. So basically, it's like it's probably more of a consistency of like a runny salsa than a hot sauce.
A runny salsa.
It's not really like you can't really put it in a bottle like that.
My eyeball is on fire. Ethan's face is on fire. Austin's like,
I'm fucking sweating, bro. Austin's like telling a story. No sweat on his forehead at all. He's just like, yeah, man, this one time I had
another breaded chicken, bro.
Y'all are also going through carbonated beverages there.
Yeah,
Gatorade. No, my right eye has nothing to do with that.
It's helping. Trust me. I've tried to eat this sauce without beer, and it did not help. Yeah. And you weren't trying to get out of, but Austin was like, we don't have to go for the hottest sauce if you don't want to. That was like 10 hours ago.
He's all stern-faced. He's like, it's really
He wouldn't
hot.
like try to get out of it, but this is a lot of the guests
Just
are
done
like,
some Texas Pete. You know?
yeah, he's like,
There's
he's
nothing.
like, if I said boneless or bone in, he said, I don't care. I said, well, we'll just do boneless. And then he said, we can do some hot sauce, but we don't have to do the hottest one. I didn't even respond. I'm like, you know what we're doing over here. And now he's handling it way better than me, and I'm fucking dying.
I think he's a good actor. He's like, man, this shit was
I don't know, dude. He seems to be fine with it.
It's pretty serious.
He's
His
not
mouth is
fine
still
with
on fire,
it,
no
but
doubt.
You said it still hurts. It hurts me bad.
Yeah.
It hurts me bad the next morning.
Yeah.
Not to be too
He
graphic
and his dog
for
are
the
going to
fans.
have like
Yeah.
a relaxation day tomorrow.
Yeah.
But-
See, normally hot stuff like this hurts me more from a heartburn indigestion
Yeah.
standpoint. than-
You haven't drank
But right
the
out your
whole
face.
like Gatorade yet, so
No?
No,
trust
that's
me.
two.
If it was
That's
hurting
the
you
second.
that bad, you'd be pounding it.
That's the
Yeah.
second Gatorade, though. But that's
Yeah.
like pre...
No, I mean, for real.
Right.
He finished the other one before we
I'm
even
not
started.
even like trying to.
You want to smell it?
like,
Do you ever get a
downplay
chance to
it.
smell it?
But
It's
it's
also-
serious.
This is not as hot as I thought it was going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Once you get it on your fingers, do not touch your eyes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
absolutely.
did. My
I know that,
eyeball.
but once you, like,
Yeah.
when you eat the wing, it only gets on your fingers a little bit. Once you touch that bottle and get it all over the cap, it's like,
Oh,
for
yeah.
some reason, a whole other dimension of, like, there's sauce all over that bottle. I've found out the hard way somehow.
Pepper.
Henry said they call him cool dude for a reason.
Yeah, damn, dude.
Boom.
Yeah,
Cool dude, yeah, no
He's
matter
like, yeah,
what.
fuck hot sauce.
Yeah, doesn't matter how hot
Is this
sauce
one the one
is,
right
he's a
below
cool
that or
dude.
something?
Huh?
Is this supposed to be the one like right below
That one I think is hotter in my opinion, but that's
I think
just
it's
me.
like a 1.8 Scoville, but I think I want to say that one's
Is it?
hotter too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this one's 2 million.
How
I
do you
know.
even? How do you even really measure? How do you even really?
Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
mean,
who the
when,
fuck is
when
that?
you say a jalapeno is 2,000 and these are 2 million, I mean, what are we doing here? Have you ever eaten a raw jalapeno?
Yeah.
That's
That's
serious.
fucking way hotter than. I mean, not way
Yeah.
hotter. But not way
If you eat
hotter.
the whole
than,
thing, it's a serious
It
ordeal.
lasts longer. I don't think it's hotter than that, but it lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
But
Hey, can I talk about something real quick?
real quick,
Y'all were talking about it earlier how nervous it is to like watch somebody else and shit in your equipment. So
I love that
in
thing.
2018, watching you and the car that I own that he paid for and Bud and him
Yeah.
built and all that, like that's a
you
big
paid
deal.
for.
Well, no, he and Bud.
Oh,
built
you
it.
He was
built
saying
it
it
for
originally.
Okay,
Yeah.
Then I bought it and all that stuff. Like that was a big deal, and I wanted to talk about it earlier. That's a nerve-wracking thing, man. You're standing on a picnic table in Southside Speedway's inner pits, and you're like, "Cool, let's just spot for this cat. I've never spotted before." You know, you were
That's
very
true, yeah,
successful that year. You won the championship. It's cool.
Alex is a good spotter.
Then let's go up
Not
to let's go to Dominion, right? I've never spotted for anybody at Dominion. You go on the top of the building, and I got
Yeah.
Kendall in there driving the car in the she car race, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Wow!"
man.
And she did great, man. Like, holy crap! And like that was interesting.
Well,
You're on top of
spotting.
the
Well, yeah, I've never been
mountain.
up Spotter's Tower. That's what it's called.
Spotters,
right?
you're on top
Is that
of the
where you
building.
went?
Yeah.
Way up
You went
there.
over
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
building.
Wow.
I
Way
had
up
my
there.
daughter with me and stuff up there, dude. It was cool. But that was, to me, you're talking about nerve wracking.
Almost far enough away for the radios not to work.
So
It's
as
like
far as
way
Yeah.
up
like,
there.
as far as I'm concerned, yeah,
The radios I had were picking up like CB
Like,
radios
on
from
the
the truck
front
drivers
stretch,
on
not the back.
95.
Yeah.
I was
So,
getting a lot.
yeah,
I was getting a lot of interference from that.
we had that.
Yeah,
We
asking
had
like
that.
what exit the
Really?
Wendy's is going to be
Right.
at.
So
You're like,
Kendall's driving my car, and when she's sitting over there in turn 3 and 4, about ready to like in the pits still, about to go on the track, that's always the interference area. And I had that issue with Ryan Hudson and with Bud Allen this year, where like they're spotting for me, and where
Right,
our radios
right.
are messed up.
Yeah.
Well, they got fined during the race for the most part, but she is a first-time driver, and she's going out there to drive this car race. And never driven a race car
Didn't
before,
hit
and then
anything?
we're having issues. And then
Yeah.
I get up on this tower. She gets out on the front stretch. Everything's fine. But, you know, like, you want to talk about nerve wracking? It's something you've paid for, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you've seen it built and done the work for.
yeah. Well, you also don't really have a good comforting feeling about who you just gave it to.
No, and Kindle I did. No problem at all. Very
Really,
trustworthy.
you
No-
felt like this thing's coming back, and
Absolutely.
you know. I'm
We
not
talked about it.
criticizing
No, we
her.
talked
I'm
about
just saying this.
Well,
that
I
race
think
is
what he means
intended
by
for
that
people
is-
who don't race.
All
She
three
told
of
me
us,
flat out, I'm not going to wreck the shit
all
out
three
your
of us
car.
have wrecked cars after going out and not planning to wreck them. So
Right.
it's always a possibility.
It's
Yeah.
always a possibility.
It's
She
like
told me,
it-
she goes,
I
look,
feel
won't-
really
yeah.
confident in my ability, right?
She
And
told me,
I've
I will
wrecked
not
them
put
and
in
not
that,
meant
yeah.
to.
Right.
I know
But
damn
she-
good
I know
well
what you're
that
saying.
somebody who does never done this before, the odds of them wrecking it
Somebody
when they didn't
tag
mean to is a
Kendall.
little
She's
higher.
not going to be.
She's probably asleep. And I told
She's
her, I
not
was
gonna
like,
be
look,
as
if you do,
appreciative.
you do.
Your
It's
words,
the last
Austin.
race of the season. I've already won the championship. I don't care. I was like, if it happens, it happens. I'll build another one. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, she and I talked about it, and it was like, look, let's go out there and have fun, finish the race, drive it on the trailer, and what happens. Well, and she ended up leading laps, like passing.
Did
to
really
the
well,
lead.
yeah. If it wouldn't have been the lap car again.
The fucking 68 car
Coates,
dive bombed underneath a
what's her
lap
name?
car.
Shannon
Crystal
Coates?
Coates.
Bristol Coates.
Crystal Coates.
Crystal Coates.
Kenna was
68
leading,
car from
going
Shenandoah.
into. She took the white flag, leading.
Lap car that.
Oh my God.
leading.
The
And
same lap car that got in the way of Riley Frazier that wrecked her.
The 51 was in the way.
I
Or
said
something.
that
She
was
went high.
headphones
The 68 went low, and she ended up losing the lead lap, like on the last lap, dude.
That sucks.
Right. She hates like.
She's mad now.
She's very frustrated.
She's
She's
like,
a
"Let's do
very
it
competitive
car-
person. She's my best friend in the world.
That
She's
lap car-
very competitive.
Now she's like, let's do this again.
That lap
Oh
car is
yeah,
the
now
same
she's
one that-
addicted. Right.
Yeah, she's actually racing
Yeah.
full time next year.
She's bought a late model.
Yeah.
It was full
I mean,
enclosed trailer.
That's usually how that works.
Virginia racer. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to G-Force
no,
Karts one
that-
time, and
that's
now we're
some
going bush
nerve-wracking
racing.
shit.
Like, damn, man.
I've never spotted for a car that I paid for him built. I paid for the one he,
Yeah.
you call it
Oh,
that.
yeah, I drove for Alex for a year.
Yeah,
That was
man,
cool.
only time I
And
did
then
it,
a lot of
Mike-
people
Mike
shred
was
Alex,
driving,
like,
and-
oh, why? It's
Yeah.
like Alex let me drive. Like me and Alex started a new car the same year. The next year
Right.
after that, Alex let me drive his fast U car that he owned for the entire season.
Spotted
And
every
then the
race,
year
yeah.
after that, we both got back in it together. And then everybody wants to wonder
Ooh.
why I have a little bit more experience. Me and Alex both raced together for the first year. Alex let me race his car
The good one, y'all
full
built, yeah.
time the entire second year. Then the third year, we got back into it together, maybe, or whatever.
Right.
Racing
That was
against
that
each
year.
other, but Alex only had a couple races versus my season and a half.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
not really fair to compare.
And I took a
like
few
I
away
said,
from
he's
him,
got,
too.
a couple street stock championships and a couple U-Car championships now. But
Damn, a Dominion. They have 2 track
One at Dominion,
champions.
that's
That's
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, that is
I
cool.
think that's cool.
having one at Dominion is cool because you don't have one at Dominion, do you?
I've never won a race or nothing there.
Okay, well, fair enough.
You could.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
only
you
drove.
usually
I've
do,
only
yeah.
made one
We've
start.
We've learned to hate it
Yeah,
off.
you've only raced, what, two races
we've
there?
raced one race in
I
U
ran
cars.
one race in U car,
Finished
one race in
second.
a Grand Stock. And I
Yeah.
finished second in
Second,
U car
second.
race.
That's the same. You've only raced two races there.
Qualified second, started
Yeah.
second, finished second.
Yeah, you can't be mad about not winning a
No,
race
it's
there.
fine.
Yeah.
No, but then I think Chapman went up
You've
there
had
and won like
30
the
races.
next week, and it was like, okay. Well.
Well, the 4 of y'all. got
and then
second
you
in
went
the
up
car.
right after that too. I think maybe,
I
or
went
maybe it's
before
the next
Chapman.
Before.
You went and finished second. I went and finished second. So we're on the same.
It was
boat, right?
Same
Ethan-
year?
It was, yeah,
Dude,
same
I
year.
was the
There's
race
4
af-
races.
I was
it
the
was
race
you,
after you.
You,
Well,
Ethan,
no,
Chapman.
Well,
I'm
You
sorry.
finished second. and
when did
then
you
I
start
finished
racing
second.
U cars?
The
His
race
first
after you.
race was the race after you did at Dominion.
It was
you finished
this.
second.
It was this, but 87.
So I've been doing it the whole year, and it was 87 when I did it too.
Right. That year, Bud
Bud bought the car
you.
from me. Then the first, and then we went to Dominion the next day.
Right.
And it already
Yeah.
had new numbers on. I was like,
That's
man.
what they do. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
Bud
He's like,
what
you
out
know, I
there.
ain't gonna let you
That's
go
the
up
one
there.
I drove.
I ain't gonna own his car.
And the reason I did, what's funny, and Bud will tell you too, the reason that I didn't get, I had the invite. The reason
mouth's
I
still
didn't
hot.
get to race at Dominion with the 87 written on it in that U car is because I had a Brad's kid's birthday party to go to.
Mhm.
So he called Ethan and was like, "Hey man,
I didn't even know Bud at the time.
But
Alex and Bud were friends.
One of my best friends growing up. I had his son's birthday party to go to.
I mean, I
Bud's
knew
like,
Bud.
Hey
did,
man,
but
you
I
want to
wouldn't-
drive for me?
Yeah,
Alex-
yeah.
I'm like,
Alex
yeah, I'd
and
love
Bud, Jennifer
to
were
win.
kinda
And he
tight.
goes like,
this
weekend. And Ethan's like, or Bub was like, yeah, this weekend. I was like, well,
I got a. Alex already
yeah.
gotten canceled from his friendship from this guy for missing a birthday party. So he's like,
Yeah.
I can't do it again. And then Bub's like, well, all
I'll
right.
call your brother. He's cool.
He didn't even say that.
All right.
He didn't even say that. He's like, all right. And then Alex was like, Ethan might want to, and Bud didn't even hardly know me at the time.
Right.
Huh.
And then he was like, okay. And then I didn't even know. Alex didn't set me up like, hey, Bud's about to text you. Because
Yeah.
Bud
It
was
was an
thinking about a
immediate
couple other
thing, yeah.
guys. Yeah, Bud was,
Yeah.
Bud's got a, I mean,
I
who
think
wouldn't
Link
want to
did it
drive
once,
for
too.
Bud?
Right.
Bud's got a fucking list of 37 drivers that he
He
can
hit
text
Ethan
at
up.
any
He's like, hey,
moment
wanna do
in
it?
time that would say, yeah, I'll drive for you. So he just happened to text me. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even barely know Bud at the time.
Yeah.
And then I text Alex, like, have you heard of this? He's like, yeah, I just turned it down. Like,
I didn't have to. I want to, but
It's like
Well,
I got
you-
time. I ain't got
you
time
had
for
it's
that.
funny that
You
2
didn't
times
want
I
to,
went,
you
the
turned
only
it down.
2 times I've ever gone live at Dominion.
I'm like,
for
why is
U-Cars
Bud
was
asking me to
you
drive
and
his
him.
car? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
He's like, I just turned it down. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Yep.
here I am. And then
Now,
I
both
went
y'all
over
do
to
well.
Bud
That was Ethan's
Jennifer's.
first race ever in a U-Car period. Was at
Yeah.
Dominion.
Ever.
He
I
could've
never,
borrowed
it was
my
my
truck
first
and-
time
yeah.
on at Dominion, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool. And then Lane Janosic drove one. So it's 4 y'all, I think. It says
Lane
Austin.
Janosic's a great Grand Stock
Ethan,
driver.
Lane.
Not the best U-car driver.
And then, right. And then
Sorry, Lane.
I
Chapman.
mean, so he was only
You know
had a
that.
half or 1 day stint.
Right, Chapman
No,
was
he
the
dri-
last
he
one to
raced
go
in U
for.
cars long
He
before
had
ever
that. He had like a
did
little
season, but it
pro.
was in a
that,
shitty car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he did a whole season. He may have done
Sorry,
a handful of.
Sorry.
So not many people have driven y'all's quote unquote car.
Only what,
It's
5 of us? or something?
Ethan, obviously Austin,
Me, you,
Ethan,
Austin, and
Chapman.
The three of
Lane
us.
drove it
Th-
once.
three of
I
us.
drove it. My first U car win ever was in that car at Shenandoah. Yep.
I only been there one time and finished second to Chapman.
Fucking Chapman. God damn it. That's definitely it's your friendly nemesis.
Oh yeah,
It's gotta
I guess you can say it really doesn't bother me though. He's a cool guy.
He's my friendly
He's
nemesis.
my friendly nemesis.
Ethan's
I mean,
beat
if-
me a
now-
lot more than I've beaten him.
If it was
Let's all go beat him up right now.
yeah, but
I'll fist fight Chapman right now. on the
Let's
show.
go
Eventually-
wake him up in
eventually-
his sleep and beat him up.
yeah, but if you win some eventually, then it doesn't feel like. If
Yeah.
I was doing this 7, 8, 10 years later, I still never won, and it was.
Oh,
all right,
dude, yeah,
all right,
believe-
this is
South-
bullshit.
my 2 wins at Southside in a U car, which I do, and you'll probably agree. Winning a U car race at Southside is not easy. I don't
No.
think it's easy.
Hell no.
Obviously, you went many years without doing it.
Yeah.
But like my 2 wins at Southside,
Nowadays,
I think Ethan finished.
nowadays it'd be easier to win a Grand Stock race.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not back when you were in it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
That
The
was in,
2
like,
wins
20
I've got at
fucking cars.
Southside, Ethan finished second to me.
yeah.
One was somewhat controversial because Josh Thomas gave me a nice little shove on the beginning, but there were 25 laps to make it right, and I finished first. Ethan finished second, and
Yeah.
both of the ones I
Yeah, it
won at
wouldn't
Southside.
matter. I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
I think a lot of the shit that I learned this year at Dominion and the setup stuff that Bud and I, have worked on together, I think I'll be a little bit better at Southside next year. But
Well, Southside
I thought I
has
was
to
hoping to do a little
open
bit better than I
soon.
did.
Southside
too.
does have to open.
It has to come back.
It'll be
What do you
fine.
think, Austin? Do you think it's going to come back?
I think I'll be there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Even if it's
I
partial.
know, I do.
Really?
Yeah,
You really-
I really think that. Yeah, they'll run.
I hope so too. I mean,
I think they will.
I'm 80% that they will, but I'm genuinely asking you.
I mean,
like,
assuming
what
that
you
there's
think.
not.
I'm not trying to get in political. War.
No, assuming that there's not more COVID restrictions come
God,
February and March than there are now.
Yeah.
But
Or,
if we're in the same scenario as we are right now, then they'll open.
Hopefully they learned something from last year and they could have fucking opened.
yeah.
I mean,
Because they don't have more than 2,500 fans any night. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, but they had.
Well, Dominion
I
did,
think
yeah.
when that went to open though, at first they weren't allowed to have any fans in the stands.
it
at
was
all.
it was a
You
maximum,
couldn't have a
gathering
It
of
was
more
a
than, like,
maximum
50
of X
people.
number of.
Yeah, because
but
Dominion took that risk and did it for 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, what's funny?
Southside was not willing to do that.
Yeah, well,
COVID did
whoever,
not exist at Dominion this year.
Yeah, they acted like it
Nobody saw any case from Dominion all year. Period.
did. Yeah,
Well,
That's interesting.
I don't want to get too political.
sure.
No,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not a
I
political
think-
thing. It's a realistic thing, and it
I
was
don't want to get too
No, that's-
medical.
medical. It's a real deal thing. There's no doubt. It's a real deal virus or
No,
whatever.
I know. I agree with you. It's like when you get to Dominion, it's not like, oh shit, where's my mask? It's like
We all
you don't
abided
even
by the 6 foot
fucking
distance.
think
We
about
just
it,
did.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you
how
kind
I
of do
do, yeah.
actually, but still, you don't think about it. You're not like,
Yeah.
where's my mask?
We won by
Nobody
6
gives a-
feet most of the time.
Yeah,
just,
nobody gives a fuck. And
just saying.
well, here's to go back to what you're saying. Nobody gives a fuck about masks, and it's not like there's an outbreak there. So
Correct.
you kind of have a point, but it's just it's muddy.
I will
water.
say, just
muddy
saying,
water to start stepping
out of the
in.
11 races, out of the 11,
Austin knows,
yeah,
you know, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll go to that race.
Yeah,
out of 11 races we
Hell, all the
competed
liberal
in,
friends.
there was 6 W's out of the 11 we competed in. That was cool.
Damn. Well,
and you missed one race.
I missed one, and I got last place in points in the last one.
Oh, we don't count that one.
We don't count that one.
There was one you just physically weren't there at.
The first one, yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and we still won the
But
championship.
Southside's going to open, I think.
I hope so.
Now, if
And what are your
COVID goes
plans?
to drive, I have no plans to drive.
I have
anything.
Do
plans.
you have
to-
any desire?
I know plans of you two. I don't know if y'all know it yet, but I've already talked to people.
Probably
so-
not. I mean, between
What's
work,
stopping you?
it just time. I think. We do the road course.
Austin
racing
does
thing.
work a lot. By the
I'm
way.
not saying running for points or build a car.
If somebody
Yeah,
came to me
so-
and was like, "Hey, you want to come race a Friday night in a one-off thing or
A
something?"
few here and there, yeah.
Yeah, I would do something like that.
I already
Yeah.
know of a deal with y'all two, by the way.
But if it was a,
There's somebody that would offer you a couple rides.
but if it was like a, hey, I want to, get the car together and it's my car and I want you to drive it. Well, usually that entails,
would
working
depend on the car?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Seat changes, whatever. Yeah.
well, just throughout the season, right? I mean, it's going to be one night a week to fix whatever gets messed up. You're going to unload it and reload it, and maintenance and all that
It's
stuff.
a lot.
It is, and it.
the sport is a lot.
We'll see what he's saying.
The road course racing thing is also we do every Wednesday night, and then and all those trips are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
If you do
it's
that,
a lot for us.
I do that.
He's trying to do that.
I
On
do that
top
8,
of
10,
it.
12 times a year. You're like, okay, well,
and then
you
if
get,
Austin has to travel,
That's
a big
understandable.
deal.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
it's
giving
really,
him
really,
an out.
it's really, really, really busy for me at work. Say from nowish until
Forever. You're always busy.
middle of March, or middle of Marchish is when it's really bad.
You're busy 13
He's like
months out
from
of the year.
November to November I'm busy, and then from November
He
to
is,
November
yeah, he's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
fucking
busy.
propane.
We're
It's like,
small.
okay.
We're pretty
He's
small.
the manager.
Sounds like the whole year every year, but
Right.
that's just
But
me.
realistically, it's like 4 or 5 months of really, really, really busy, and then so that leaves me with 8 months or so, and then we do 12 weekends worth of racing
That math
throughout
is off.
that.
So
Which equates
Four-
to like 12 months, yeah.
he's like 6
We're
months
busy. No, I
of
said we're busy.
fucking shit, and then we're like 8
And I
months.
said we're
of-
busy like 4 or 5, and then there's 8. So it's
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, yeah,
or
you're
7.
right.
But
No,
if
yeah,
you
4 to
get,
8. Yeah, yeah,
the
4 to
idea
8,
though is
12
you
games.
get if you get a few celebrity races next year, you'll be a happy man.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Why not? You know,
Yeah, I would do something. Yeah, I just don't want to, and I don't mean like I wouldn't come work on it that night. You know, like, hey, I'll come
It's
over.
not even about
I'll come
that,
over
like,
Tuesday. We'll go through the car. We'll load it up.
We're
We'll
not gonna
bullshit,
do it, man.
and then you know, if it gets tore up, I hope you fix it. Obviously, but
No.
I'm not looking for a. I was doing that with the Grand Stock for a couple years,
Yeah.
and that was
But you happen to
an
see
unload on
your,
Monday, fix it on or reload on Thursday, go to
Right.
track Friday,
Yeah.
then leave
But you
there,
don't, like
go to the
your-
airport.
Your,
like, oh
your
my
like,
gosh,
seat deals. Like, they wouldn't be about that though.
no.
They'd be like, "Hey man, you want to drive this thing like 2 or 3 times?" Like, yeah, cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
you
do.
have a
Like,
Friday
fixed it,
night with
mark
nothing
on
to
it.
do, you can still just
Yeah.
head out of the track and leave early Saturday morning
Right.
if you need to get on a plane
Or
or
even
something.
Friday night,
Might as well.
Yeah, and it's not like I gotta get on
I'll
a
be in
plane
the
to go
stands
somewhere all
or
the
in the
time.
infield anyway.
But
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to do anything like full time per se. But yeah, like if there was some one offs here, that'd be a lot of fun.
Like, hey man, come break
But,
it.
yeah, but hopefully
I know
I'd come do
somebody-
a little bit
I
better,
know
a little
somebody
bit better
looking
than
for a
last
ride.
year's one off.
I know somebody looking for a driver. Looking for a driver for about 3 or 4 races
Yeah, I'd
I
do
do
something
too.
like
with a competitive car.
We talked recently.
that. Yeah, I
Okay.
have to.
Right, well,
Yeah,
Austin's
I do.
going to win 6 out of 12
Whoa,
races
whoa,
next year. He's only
fuck
going to be
Austin.
in 4 of
Win
them.
No, Alex
six,
is gonna
six
win
out
12 out
of
of
6
12,
out of the
but,
3
yeah.
that I start.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure what car y'all are driving, but I'm gonna win all of them.
Yeah, he's going to win 4 out of the 3 he starts. That's sick, dude.
Damn,
That's how he does, dude.
125% win rate. That's awesome.
All he does is win, no matter
All I
what.
do is win,
Yeah.
win.
Well, I think that's all I got. I think for tonight. I mean, I've got a couple other things, but they're all silly bullshit stuff. I'm glad that we kept
Shout
it
out Mark Marshall.
on the shout out Mark Marshall. I'm glad we
Pager
kept
man.
it on the fun topic of just racing, and we didn't
Yeah.
ever even got to the silly videos, internet videos. We don't need
Yeah.
all that anyway.
Are y'all's mouths feeling good?
I'm fine.
I'm fine now.
Finally. Cool.
How about you? You want another swipe?
No, I'm great,
Okay.
bro. Austin ate all the chickens, so we're good.
Well, no, I did too. I helped a lot with that. Yeah,
Y'all are a
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Like and share if you are watching still. Nobody watches the end, right? They say.
Oh, damn it.
There's
Yeah,
still people.
It's
There's
all
still
good.
people on it.
Yeah,
12.
we've gone long.
It's
It's
almost
been a
12:30.
good one though.
Mark Marshall
it's a good
says
one.
give me $3,000 sponsorship to the 96 next year in UCAR. That's cool, Mark. Thanks.
Get
man.
outta here,
Appreciate
Mark.
that.
way to go, Mark.
Go to
He's
YouTube.
a charitable guy.
Yeah, he's
Charitable
not gonna do
guy.
this. He's bullshit. Yeah. Mark
not
Marshall's trying to.
bullshitting.
You can sponsor the podcast. You
Mark Marshall says he's going
I
to
don't
sponsor the
say- say
podcast,
like-
too.
say it right.
Alex
Marshall's
over here
Body and Paint.
plugging his side project shit on your
Light-
podcast.
I know, right?
Man,
There are
what,
lights
this
here.
bastard.
hitting
what
the
in the hell, man?
All right. Well, like I said, like and share, subscribe, and I guess like on YouTube. Like and subscribe. How do they say YouTube?
Spotify, YouTube,
Here's
Apple
another
Music.
question. You're a young
You
guy
like
like
and
me.
subscribe on YouTube. Yeah.
Which should I be doing this on YouTube or Facebook? Facebook, I will warn you, is making a rise. As much as it's gotten
I'd go-
shitted
I'd-
on in,
nah, I
in
go-
the past, it is making a rise. That's why all these comedians and stuff like that are.
It depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you want people that you know to watch it,
I
which
still
is
upload it on everything anyway.
if it's you want somebody that you know to watch it, then I'd say
Uh-oh.
Facebook because you're gonna
Mark
get
Marshall said
the
he
racing-
said you know I'm good for it.
there.
Hey,
Wow.
baby.
Oh, snap.
That might as well be a
$100
signed,
an
that's
episode,
a
let's
signed
get it.
contract right there.
Austin said let's sign a contract, Mark. You
That's-
in, bro?
I've already got one. It's not printed. I don't have a printer, but we can do it digitally.
I think Alex probably got one in his truck, right?
Yeah, I wrote
Yeah.
a contract.
He always
Mark.
keeps
He's got a
contracts
fucking
with him and
printer,
can-
he's a salesman,
Yeah,
dude.
always
Yeah.
got the contract.
Pull the tablet out right
He's
now.
probably got a fucking printer on his phone, dude.
There's no doubt. I'll
Yeah.
turn on my.
A
It
10,
prints
10,
off a little skinny receipt.
yeah,
down
give
the
him a
side
10,
of the
10,
phone.
10, 10, 10.
Polaroid.
It's like that was $12,000. I'll make about $200 on that thing.
Nah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, what were we talking about before that? Mark Marshall said what?
Austin said he's going to drive your race car like 12 times next year, Ethan. Yeah, it's a go-kart, but that's cool.
Okay,
What?
I'm getting confused.
Who's got a?
Thank you, everybody. Love you. Thank you for tuning in. Like and share. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'll do it
It's hard
again.
to get, yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
I said, we only made it about here, so.
I mean, you got 25
We'll
bullet
call-
points, and we went through about 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, this,
So-
this will be episode 2.
It'll be like
This will
7
be episode
hours.
3.
That's cool.
I'm
Yep.
down anytime.
Yeah,
baby.
man.
It's hard to get episodes. I mean, it's hard to
You
get.
know what? He'll just have to come back. He'll just have to come back for second half.
That's what we're talking
On the
about.
other side of Christmas, that should be good.
Yeah,
We go racing next weekend.
Yeah, where's that? Talk about that real quick.
We're in the
Yeah.
off season anyway. What
Yeah.
else do we got to do?
We
You're
go
going.
racing at Virginia International Raceway next
VIR.
weekend. Yep,
That's close by,
on the
too. How
north
far
quarter.
is that?
That's like 2.5. It's just past South Boston. Take 360 to South to Sobo, then jump on 58 like you're going to Martinsville.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes down 58, and it's there.
Okay.
So we run there next weekend, and then assuming that nothing goes wrong, the car comes back in one piece. They're just not guaranteed.
New car.
That's Austin's like protege. He's like, yeah, well, you know.
If it comes back in working order and it's just like normal routine maintenance on a turnaround, we're supposed to be going to Barber Motorsports Park, which is
Barber.
Alabama.
Fuck yeah.
The
Barber's
weekend,
cool.
The weekend
That's
after
what's
that.
Doing the traveling man.
Good luck, dude, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But I'm kind of hoping that one maybe
Crosses out.
Yeah,
You don't want to do it.
That's just a long way to go.
And
And
we're
we're
like
like,
Sonoma. Where's that?
This guy,
yeah, but
he's supposed to run
I
the
flew there. I got to drive this
California,
trailer
right?
to Alabama and back.
With the car in it. There's nobody else that tows. I mean, what truck are you driving? Whose truck
Sonoma's
is
in
that?
California, right?
So
Yeah, it's the same.
Sonoma.
Sonoma. These motherfuckers. Make them tow it.
When we went to Sonoma,
You're the best driver on the fucking team. Why are you
Right.
towing? What are we doing here?
because I
'Cause he
contribute
works
the least
at the-
amount.
I understand when I do it. I'm the only driver on the team.
'Cause
You
he
know,
works
you're the
more
one
hours.
Of the four,
Because
you're
the
one
man,
of the four
who,
drivers.
the
and,
man
like,
whose
you're the
name
best
is on
one.
the side of mine and Alex's vehicle in the
Paycheck.
parking lot
Paycheck,
said,
paycheck.
You're the driver of the
"You're
track team.
driving the trailer there, and I'll see you there when I get off the airplane."
Alex does
Yeah, but
not
there's
drive the
there's
race
other
cars
people there,
or
huh?
the trailers there.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe one
Get
day.
this
Give this
Fudging
loser a
guy to
chance.
do it.
I'll drive.
Here, get this fudging guy to do it.
I'll even drive the
He'll
shit
impress
there,
you.
but give me a shot. I'll
Yeah.
drive
He'll
that.
at
Yeah.
least be second best to you on the
Yeah.
road cars. I can guarantee that.
I appreciate that. I'll do it.
You'd be good.
Yeah.
He'd be good.
I'll bring my own helmet.
Just
Why won't they? Why,
the
wouldn't
only-
why would they not incorporate that? Don't they want to win? Why wouldn't they break? Or they enjoy driving too much? Probably. I mean, there's 4 of y'all. Is there any way to?
Well,
How does that work?
there's really like
The other 3
10
guys
people
really
total.
enjoy it.
There's like 10 people total, and like 3 of which don't ever drive ever. Like my dad's included. He works on the. I mean, he's probably
he's
yeah,
the
you never
worker,
drive?
he's
yeah.
the main architect of the cars, but he doesn't really like to race.
Very analytical.
But
Wow,
there's
so
probably
good.
6 or 7 of us that drive. Not all of our schedules always align where we can all go to the track the same
course.
weekend.
I can make my schedule align. Just saying. Talk
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Lipton.
That's
Yeah.
the same. Talk to somebody, dude.
So,
I can
but normally
fit
there's
yours.
normally
Get a
there's
sponsorship for this
3 or
guy,
4
yeah.
drivers
Okay.
when we go normally
Okay.
per. So 8-hour
always-
race.
my
In an 8-hour
fastest
race,
always
you each run
clean.
2-hour stints.
My shoes are always ready. My gloves are ready. My helmet's always ready.
Alex only hit a wall like twice in his life.
3.
3 times in his life.
I think the only thing you'd have to get used to
How weird
probably
is
would
that?
be
The race for like
would just be
15 years.
the pure speed of it. But that
I
would,
love it. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready tonight.
a lot of blind corner.
Alex just
yeah.
racing on the way home. Settle
I'll-
down.
I'm
No,
ready, dude.
don't
No,
go
you'd
that
be,
way.
you would
I'm
figure,
fucking
you would,
ready.
You would figure
Oh,
it out. You'd be
God.
fine. You'd figure it out.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's
there-
what I'm saying. That's,
but
what,
it's
that's
just-
what I'm
it's
saying.
just,
It's like
it
y'all can
would
have
take
much
you-
more competitive edge.
It would take you
maybe.
one race weekend trip to find your legs.
Maybe
probably.
2, but I'd be in. I'm
Yeah.
totally in right now.
Yeah.
I love
Maybe
it.
they could. Well,
I mean,
we'll talk
shifting.
about it. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it off air.
No, Austin and I will. Yeah.
We'll talk about it off air, and we will talk about the last 2/3 of this page next time Austin comes on. I'm excited. I'm excited
it
that we
again.
only. I'm excited we only
Yeah.
did a little bit of it here because we had so much to talk about.
Yeah,
it
I mean,
was
yeah,
good.
it's good.
Episode
yeah.
44 will be Austin Dodge. Episode
Yeah,
45 will be
dude.
Austin Dodge.
I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
it a
man.
lot. It's hard to get people on here,
Sure.
especially this late at night, and I appreciate it a lot that you came in here.
Yeah, let's get back
And-
together on the flip side of the holidays. We can,
Yeah, dude. Anytime.
whatever episode number.
I would
we're
love
on.
to follow up this list with you. Like I said,
last
episode 43.
2/3.
Yeah, the last 2/3. Episode 43 for the King, for the Grand Stock, and Road Course King himself.
True story. Hey,
Yeah.
good luck next weekend, dude.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Yeah, dude.
kill it.
Where are you
Thank
going
you.
again? One more time?
Virginia International Raceway.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's close too.
Yep.
In Virginia, all you California fucking fans. That's in Virginia. If any of you want to send over some drivers to Virginia, you can get fucked up by Austin Dodge. Okay. Sorry for for that profanity. But either way, love having you.
See you, dude.
See you.
Thanks, man.
And thanks for doing the hot wings too. I know that was crucial. You handle like a champ, though.
Oh yeah, I love hot stuff. That's
the cool dude Dodge. Nothing handles him, right?
Yeah, if we're doing it now. If you were doing like a sour thing, I would have been
also,
like,
Dodge
hell
like
no.
drinking the hot sauce on the side like it ain't nothing.
But like just like a regular box of Nerds or something like that's enough to be like I'm topped out on the sour.
Well, like
I can't stand sour stuff.
Yeah. Well, really?
I'm such a
sour head or whatever it's called.
Warhead. Dude, I can't do it.
All right, next episode, I got you, baby.
If we do that next time, I'll do it.
That'll make you react.
Oh yeah, terribly.
Okay,
it'll be very entertaining.
All right, I got you, baby.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming.